too many attacks, because I did see, I was counting in my head how long Darnold was holding the ball and how that offensive line was trying to, keep him safe. And then when you see like all those Anderson throws, I was like, too short, too far. What's going on? And he made two other two ending throws that nobody. I didn't even see a receiver nearby.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I was like, what happened, Darnold? Like, what? This is supposed to be your builder. I'm super glad he didn't throw an interception. I'm super happy, but you can't say that they weren't close enough. Still, like, dang.
Dude, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason we should not have won that game. Dude, I'm gonna take some
Yeah.
more calls. so I
Yeah.
give me one more.
Absolutely.
Give me a shout out real quick. Give me last thing.
Keep the hopes up. We still got this, and the game's not over. Let's go, Jets!
Love it, dude. Absolutely love it. Hopefully you guys are tuned in and watching on the other stream right now. I apologize. I got taken down for showing highlights. Even YouTube didn't want to see the highlights. That's just it. YouTube didn't want to see it. They were like, yo, this game's terrible. We don't want it. Get it out of here. Note to self. The NFL doesn't like when you post their YouTube highlights, even when you give them credit for it. I get it. I even demonetized the stream. I wasn't trying to make money on it. Whatever. Delete. Gonna get rid of this too. Boom. Get out of there. And I'm gonna try and do that. Alright, I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Sticking with me through all this ridiculousness of getting cut off. So I gotta try and find the other things for the descriptions. That way it actually loads up. Who knows? I guess Sportscaster let me do it. They were like, yeah, we don't care. Sportscaster let me do it. They were like, yeah, we don't care. So if you guys have not joined me on Sportscaster, I'm going to have a link in the description below in just a second, because I did not set this up prior. Kind of got curveballed. We'll see. Bam. Let's try this again. Desktop. Graphics? Where did I put this? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, god damn it. Oh, you know what? I should probably put the phone number up. You guys aren't going to call if the phone number's not on the screen, right? That makes perfect sense. All right. Call-in show. Boom. Let's see if this lets me do it. Downloads? Nope, it doesn't want to show up in downloads. Where do these go? Bum, 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 bum. I apologize, guys. Be with you in just a second, trying to set this up. Well, bam. All right. Stopping Josh Allen. Good luck with that. Yeah. Well, you know what? Josh Allen, I do have this stat. Among the lowest ranking quarterbacks, according to Pro Football Focus, we've got Kirk Cousins at a 67.1. We have Rivers at a 65.3. Mayfield at a 64.9. Rodgers was a 53.4. And Josh Allen, 52.3. So the Jets actually did a good job. The Jets were okay on defense. I can't be upset with what I saw from this team from that. Grandpa Mark, get your shit together, Ryan. I know! I had all this shit together. What happened was I was showing highlights of the game, and YouTube was like, yo, stop showing highlights of the game. Can't do that. It's not your footage. I get it. Whatever. Sorry. I appreciate you guys coming back into the stream. I probably need to work on my thumbnails a little bit better, too. Just keep it consistent. Call-in show. It says 8 to 10, but whatever. So if you guys have not joined Sportscaster, I did put the link in the description down below. I would love to have you guys join on there because it does help me out. They're throwing a little bit of cash my way to help make the stream better. Have a little fun. I ordered a new mic yesterday in my drunken, angry state at the Jet game. And it's coming tomorrow. So I'll have a new microphone. Not that the audio sounds that bad, but where's that phone call coming from? Who we got?
Call from
Joseph.
To accept, press 1.
Help Ryan pay for his wedding. All right, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Oh my god. Alright, so I'm just gonna get this over with. What the hell?
Oh, dude, it kills me. I'm like, ooh, it had me fired up. I was already angry at the whole Antonio Brown news, and then we lose like that. Like, I'd rather be the Giants and lose and get thumped and just be like, okay, this sucks. Losing to the Bills when we should have won hurts.
Yeah, we were up by 16, and our kicker can't make an extra point or a field goal.
Dude, it's not fair. It's not fair that this is what happens to us.
Yeah. Oh my god, that just hurt me so much. And I didn't know, why was Adam Gase always throwing screens and bubbles? It hurts.
My guess, and I don't really have any kind of knowledge on this, but my guess is that the reason he did that was because our offensive line was so bad that we didn't have time to really block anyone. And I'm not exactly sure if that's the rationale for it, but that seems like it would make sense to me.
Yeah. It just hurt me. What I literally said after the game ended, I was watching on TV and I said, Dad, I would have rather had my asshole splinter than to lose like this.
Yeah. No, that game hurt because our defense played really well. I was really proud of what I saw out of Mosley and, just the whole defense in general. And then once he went out, the game completely changed. You lose your signal caller, and all of a sudden, life is a lot harder as a Jet fan. It's like, at least if we had Williamson, we would have had that backup there. But now you're talking about our third string inside linebacker who, if it's, Hewitt or whatever, it's, they're not dialed in the way those guys are.
Yeah.
Now, I will say of the things that I did see, I think Bell is as advertised. He is really good. That catch where he pulled away, on the 2-point conversion, he pulled it away from the defender.
Yeah,
incredible.
Saw that. That was so great.
Awesome. He's fast. He's shifty. If our offensive line was, middle of the pack, we would have been awesome.
And I didn't like the way that we didn't utilize Ty Montgomery, and when he was in, he dropped it. We dropped the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of Ty Montgomery, and apparently Adam Gase said, he's like, I'm the head coach, I made that call. So I don't know if Montgomery pissed someone off, if that's what happened, but I was not happy to not see him on the field. I would have liked to seen him and Bell on the field in multiple sets, and then you have Crowder, Robbie, and Enunwa out there. And Enunwa, I think, had one catch for like -4 yards.
Yeah. I had even you know who Olivia Lantis is? Like the Jets reporter?
Probably if I saw her. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, so
Go on.
I texted her and said, "Goat reporter," and then I followed up with, "How do you feel with our kicking situation?" She saw it and didn't respond.
Oh. Well, hey, you know what? Some people are. I'm sure she's getting a bunch of messages from everyone. I mean, even in this little bit of a channel that I have, I don't have nearly the following that any of those other people have, and it's like, I'll get a bunch of messages sometimes, and I try to respond to all of them, but there's days that I just like, I'll look at something, I'll be like, oh, that's cool, or I'll respond to it later, and right over my head.
Oh my god, I miss Jason Myers already.
Dude, I can't believe it. If we had Jason Myers, I said it earlier, and my stream got taken down, so I had to redo it. But,
yeah, I know.
So I said $2.5 million. That's what
it.
cost us that game. We spend $2.5 million more, we win that game. You have, that's the money, the difference that we did not pay Jason Myers. And how much money do we have in cap space right now? We got like $15 million in cap that's unused. Not paying the player that's going to win you games in a close game is grounds for dismissal, and that's why Matt Cagnan's gone. That's one of the reasons. I mean, it's not the only reason, but it is a huge reason why we did not win.
Yeah, the GC that I'm in, the Jets Conversation.
Yeah.
Oh my god, after the game it just blew up. We were shitting on everyone in that game.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, the whole, like, I wish I wanted to do something live, like, right after the game. I went there and I, like, got a little tuned up. I had, like, one too many Tito's and Gatorade. I wound up, like, ooh, I can't edit anything.
Did you see the video of Gangrene David, or the live stream that he did after the game?
No, I didn't.
He was pissed.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, his tone of voice, it changed from, like, the happy guy that I see on YouTube to just wanting to murder someone.
Spitting nails. Dude, when I get rowdy and I go to a game, I start yelling things that aren't necessarily football related. But, like, so I'm like, I broke a date with Jesus for this. This is crap. And, like,
thanks, Obama.
Dude, between that, I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, Josh Allen has gingivitis. And, like, just kind of lost my mind on some stuff.
God, if we don't win this Browns game next week, I'm going to cry.
I agree. Dude, you got 10 seconds. What's on your mind?
No.
10-second sound off.
Oh, my God. Fuck McCacken. That's it.
I hear you, dude. That is a perfect soundbite. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
You're out of here!
And I'll have you back on next week. Or you call in later if you want. I don't care. I'll be hanging out here. We got the game going. Not a lot going on right now. What are you talking about? Garden Hose, you talking to me? What the hell? I have a feeling Williams is a bust. Quentin Williams, Garden Hose, smack you around. No way. Mike Evans for Robbie Anderson, a second-round pick. That, I would be stunned if that happened. But I'd do it. I don't think it'll happen. Any details on C.J. Mosley injury? None that I'm aware of right now. I know it was a groin.
Call from
TJ.
TJ, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, how are you?
Dude, just sound off. I want to hear all the anger.
Well, first of all, did I tell you that Josh Allen was going to get intercepted? I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's the thing. Like, we got 4 turnovers. We got to the quarterback. We got to, we got in the passing lanes. We tipped balls, and the offense couldn't pick up its side of the game. I think the Bills' defense and our lack of a kicker won that game for the Bills.
Let me ask you something. On the very last, one of the last plays where they called a holding or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that something where the referees can just right there determine the whole game? I mean, it just seemed like an offensive holding. I mean, it seems to me he could have said either way. The Jets would have had another first down. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you were holding your breath thinking that maybe we have another play there, and then, of course, it was offensive holding instead of defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, how much influence do they have on these plays? I'm starting to think that they could just adjust it any way they want.
Well, that's just it. That's the whole rationale for, like, the Patriots being good and things like that. Like there's calls and no calls that happen, and the refs can really dictate what happens in the game. So one thing I'd like to see happen is maybe inside 2 minutes, no penalties can get thrown by the ref. It's like, or if it is a penalty, it's like under review. So like, it sucks that a holding penalty is so tough to kind of gauge because there's probably holding on every play. And honestly, if you wanted to get rid of holding, make every single offensive lineman wear oven mitts or like boxing gloves or something. Like no more holding. You can't hold anymore. It takes away the holding.
Unless it's extreme, or unless it affects the play.
You need to like bear hug. Like as long as you have like you can't grab, that would be okay. You're supposed to be pushing anyway. You're not supposed to be grabbing. So if you make everyone wear oven mitts, as stupid as that sounds, it would work, and you cut down the amount of penalties in a game.
All right, now next, the kicking. I saw a video where a guy was kicking at like 90 yards away, and someone was mentioning that, I think this is the guy they were talking about, knows our special teams guy or whatever. How come this guy isn't contacted? I mean, come on. If this guy can kick from 90 yards away, bring him in, for God's sakes. We'll give him a shot.
Dude, I'd bring... What's up, hashtag? Welcome to the chat. I would absolutely bring in a kicker of that caliber. Now, there are the things that you could say as far as a, kicking without anyone on the field. So if you're kicking off a tee, or you're kicking
naturally
with no defenders, like you're kicking it lower at a lower trajectory than you would. If you're taking more steps and then hitting it, that's different. But if you're getting touchbacks as this guy that's, just off the streets, I don't care. Bring in a soccer player. Honestly, there's no reason why there cannot be quality kicking on the Jets right now. And it seems like across the league there's an issue. It feels like there's like 5 or 6 really good kickers, and everyone else is just a fucking crapshoot. And I don't know what to make of it.
Well, listen, Valentine Holmes, I've seen him hit field goals at 45-degree angles in his game.
Sure.
I've seen him do it. Yeah, oh, yeah. Imagine, because, he's there on the practice squad. Imagine if they have him practicing down there, letting him at least do that. And, of course, they like plug-in players. Yeah. So let him do that. Let's say, God forbid, someone gets hurt or whatever. But here's a guy that I bet you would hit.
Yeah.
Better than the guy we got. I mean, the guy we got couldn't even hit chip shots for the extra point.
Now, you'd have to imagine, oh, it's Mikey. Hey, thank you for being new to Jets Talk 24/7. I appreciate you being here. Sorry. You would think that in training camp we would have at least tested out this rugby player as a field goal kicker. Now, I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't, but there's probably a reason why we did not go with him. I'm hoping. I mean, if you had someone of that caliber on your team, not to be able to utilize him in that fashion is silly. Not to mention he's a good rugby player, so in the event that like something goes astray, maybe he could jump in there and like, I don't know, freaking tackle someone or like hand it off. The guy's fast. He's one of the best rugby players in the like world or in Australia or whatever.
Yeah. Now, one other thing is the guys that got hurt, Quentin Williams and also C.J. Mosley. Tell me that we're going to be all right with that. They're going to be back in the lineup. What's going on?
I don't know. With a groin pull with Mosley, someone said he's questionable for next week's game. With Quentin.
Oh no.
Yeah, if we don't get him back, I'm not going to be excited for that game. Hopefully we get the extra day of rest and he's a little bit better come Monday. Quentin Williams, I'm not exactly sure what his issue was, but it didn't seem like it was overly bad. At least from what I've read, there was no like, oh my God, this guy's going to miss like extended time. But I know they were keeping him out of practice throughout the course of the week.
All right, now the guy from Washington. Does it make any sense now to bring him in, even for a high rounder?
Oh God, I cannot, in good conscience, give up the Jets' first round pick, and that's what they're going to ask for. And the reason is,
let's just give him our kicker.
Oh yeah, just like hey, yeah, go for it. Well, at least the kicker would play for him. Trent Williams isn't even playing for him. No, I would like to see some kind of maybe a conditional pick. So like, hey, we'll give you a first rounder if we make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, maybe it's a second round pick. And then, so it's like something like that, where it's like, at least it'll be a tail end of the first round pick if we have to give one up. But honestly, I want to see Douglas with his full arsenal of picks go into a draft. And I don't think that you're going to see, I don't think we're going to trade away many picks. I think we're going to actually utilize them the way
We have to.
and that's just it. We don't have a lot of good young talent. It's, you look at guys, Herndon suspended for 4 games. That hurts a lot. I mean, he's a total weapon. And, don't sabotage hashtag. I will get to hashtag's comments in just a little bit. Is this for Josh Norman? No, we're talking about Trent Williams. Ghost Rider. No, I don't think. And what sucks too is like our tackles weren't really the issue. It was our inside guys, our guards and center again have been terrible. Last year they were terrible. Winters this year terrible. He was the
Bring
lowest.
somebody in. There's got to be somebody out there on the Heat.
Well, look, we brought in the center. We brought in the guard from Oakland. Both good acquisitions and better than what we had got, the year prior, but barely. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we just got to find someone that'll stick.
I've seen offensive guards that are just big monster guys. We just need somebody who is unmovable.
Dude, I want to go into, like, China or Japan or one of these countries that does sumo wrestling and just be like, yo, I want you. We're going to throw some pads in you, and you're just going to make the guy in front of you not be there anymore. Just push him out of the way. Like, I'm sure there's technique and everything, but if you get some big, like, heifers out there, dude, it's hard to move a cow.
Exactly.
Have you tried cow tipping before? It's not easy. It doesn't happen. You can't knock over a cow.
Can't say I have.
No, totally different. Does not make any sense.
Well, I'll tell you, I was more upset than some of these players. It seemed that they were very nonchalant about the whole thing, and meanwhile, I'm ripping my hair out, and I'm wondering where my therapists are, when I need them.
I think they probably understood kicking was going to be an issue, and watching it happen was like, this sucks, because we could have won this game. Dude, you got 10 seconds. What's on your mind?
Nah, just bless you, and I hope your wedding goes well.
Thank you. I love it. I appreciate the call-in, and I hope you call in again.
You're out of here!
I get to know you guys over the course of, God, I guess, what have I been doing this for 6 months now? This is a lot of fun. We've changed a lot in the first 6 months. I've gotten a little bit better at this. The audio thing and the getting my calls taken down or, videos taken down. A little bit of issues here and there. But by and large, we're getting there.
Call from
Joseph again.
Joseph again. What's up, dude?
Alright, so some things just popped into my mind. So I was going through the Jets convo, and apparently if we lose, like if we're 0-3 into the bye week,
it's like a 6% chance of making the playoffs. It
And
might even be lower than that. It's like 2, I think.
we've just been saying we might just go 0-6.
Well, that's just it. I said this at the, I definitely said it in my last live stream. I've been saying it for a while. There's a real shot the Jets go 0-5 or 0-6 to start the season. And if we're 0-3 going into the bye week, you better believe a lot of players are going to start packing it in. There's no reason to be risking your health when the chances of you making the playoffs are like 6%. And that sucks. As a fan, that is the worst thing you could possibly see is a team that is just not trying. And then you just go belly up. It's, I don't blame the players for doing it, but, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, at least we're not the Miami Dolphins.
Dude, they got waxed. They are terrible. Did you see all the guys that are trying to request trades because they don't want to be on a tanking team?
Yeah.
That's
Oh my God.
crazy. That is absolutely insane. And they are tanking.
No.
That's what it is. I mean, you're looking at Fitzpatrick. You don't sign Fitzpatrick and be like, oh yeah, we're good. And then you trade for Rosen, and Rosen is clearly bad. You watch it, and they're like, okay, we know we're taking Tua or Herbert or whoever you're taking in the draft.
The best thing for Josh Rosen is for him to get traded to Tennessee. That would be the best thing for him.
And then he starts playing as Tannehill. Or no, he's got a. I feel bad for Rosen in the sense that he's had 5 or 6 offensive coordinators in the last 4 or 5 years, and that hurts. That's not that's a bad thing to have to deal with as a young quarterback. I mean, he hasn't helped himself either. That's the thing. He kind of comes off as this arrogant prick. He's like, what? and from my understanding, he came from a very well-off family and has kind of had a lot of things, I don't want to say handed to him, but it doesn't feel like he had to work as hard for it. Like, Darnold was a linebacker before he became a quarterback. Like, he's only been playing quarterback for like 4 or 5 years now. Josh Allen playing in a very different kind of conference with Wyoming, but he tore it up. I mean, you know, the stats weren't necessarily great, but he had the metrics. He had everything that you want in a quarterback. Baker won at like the highest level. You know, Heisman Trophy winner. These guys really good. Lamar Jackson, lots of questions with his health as far as, you know, if he takes a big shot, is he going to be good? He was phenomenal. Now, the stat line looks significantly better, I think, than his performance may have otherwise, you know, kind of been. Like, he threw a few passes that were kind of short, and then, like, the dude just took off and ran for, like, a zillion yards. And I'm excited to see Lamar Jackson, but I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid quite as much as I think a lot of other people might be doing it. I do think he threw the ball a lot better than he did last year. So that was something interesting. But there were a few, like, I don't know if it was I think it was a touchdown, not a 2-point conversion, where he was, like, running around, throwing off his back foot, and, like, heaving it in. I was like, God. I was like, if they had anyone with half a brain, that would be picked off. But I think Miami's going to go. Miami has a shot to go 0-16. They look that bad.
Yeah. The Jets just posted, this is by Jordan Jenkins, it's a quote, "We ain't gonna let this game define us. Look back to last year. We beat the heck out of Detroit, then look at the end of last year. So one game doesn't define anybody."
I completely agree. I'm gonna try and find the stat that I saw the other day, and it was something along the lines of, hey, you know, when the Jets went to the playoffs the last, like, 6 or 7 times, whatever it was, we lost the first game of the season, and we came back. Yeah. There was a few times we went, I think, 0-2, and, like, came back with a vengeance, or started, you know, maybe 2-4, and really didn't have, like, a good start, and then we just went on a tear. Now, I think that is totally
well, you also got to remember that every single Jets head coach has had a winning season since, like, Bill Parcells.
Yeah, especially the first year after, because you usually have more juice playing for a new coach. There's more hype. There's more players, more money spent on, you know, free agent acquisitions and things like that. So that's definitely part of it. But you look at our schedule and you look at the talent that's, like, not there on the offensive line. Like, our offensive line for the majority of the last 20 years has actually been the strength. It's really only the last, like, 5 years that it's kind of sucked. 5 seconds. What you got for me?
Crap. We got this.
Thank you for calling in, my brother.
You're out of here!
I appreciate it. You are out of here. Again. Oh, Jesus Christmas. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm frustrated. I just wanted to, like, go on a baby punching rampage. Hashtag, if you're still hanging out in the chat, you should definitely call in. Or I guess I could call you. But you should call in, because I'm letting other people call in. Oh, I got to take my lumps. This is what sucks. I saw something that he posted in there. He said, 6 points off 4 turnovers. You can't have that happen. I completely agree. There is no way the Jets should have lost. I like the hashtag. There's no reason the Jets should have only scored 6 points off those 4 turnovers. That is sacrilegious. Now, I know we're going against one of the best defenses in the NFL. They were number 2 overall last year for a reason. They didn't lose any of their starters. They returned 10 of their 11 starters. And the 11th one that they lost to retirement, they replaced with arguably the best defensive tackle in the draft. I mean, you're talking Quinnen Williams and you're talking Ed Oliver right there, 1-1. A lot of people were real high on Oliver. And from what I've seen, that defense has not skipped a beat. It is absolutely the strength of that team. I think the Jets were able to rattle Allen for the most part.
Call from.
Jay.
To accept, press.
What's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's up?
What's on your mind? Talk to me.
I just wanted to say that you got to put some of the blame on Sam Darnold on that.
Now, which part are you saying? Like where he's throwing the ball, or?
the accuracy, like the couple of deep balls down to Robbie Anderson where it was overthrew and then he underthrew to Quincy with a bunch of defenders.
Now, I will say this, the overthrow to Robbie, I think I know which one you're talking about, where it went like 3 or 4 yards past him. If you watch that play over again, and actually Rich Samini tweeted it out, the Robbie tripped at like the 47-yard line and stumbled after Darnold had already like kind of wound up and was throwing it to that spot. So I think he would have hit him in stride had Robbie not tripped. So that looks bad for Darnold, but really wasn't that bad. But the fact that you're 5 incompletions to end the game is just sad. You got to be able to hit something. The fact that Jamison Crowder had a franchise-tying record of 14 completions or 14 receptions and did not hit 100 yards. That's like hard to do.
Yeah.
We threw too much stuff short of the line of scrimmage, and I think part of that is from our offensive line. I think we didn't have the time to actually, invest in, invest in like deeper routes. You can't let those deep routes, sort of happen if you are running around for your life. Sam can't go through his progressions the right way. He can't step up into the pocket. And honestly, when you look at the Pro Football Focus grades on our offensive line, both guards and the center, some of the worst grades across the NFL.
And I'm not trying to say I want Sam Darnold to be like
No.
Lamar Jackson. Or,
Hey, I'm okay with it. No. That's the thing. Like I'm okay with throwing blame on Sam Darnold because there were definitely plays that I felt like he left that out there. But I don't know. I tend to blame, at least right now, the offensive line hurt us badly, and I think the checkdowns are probably because of that offensive line. I mean, it boils down to the kicking situation, I think. Now, I don't know what the Browns' defense is ranked. They're pretty good. But hopefully we can see some better results as far as, moving around and getting the ball a little bit further down the field. I think we're going to get chewed up on the defensive side. I don't know if our corners are going to be able to stick with Landry and Odell. That's going to be a tough task next week.
Yeah. I saw a report today that said that Gase said that the receivers missed some opportunities.
Yep.
And do you really think the receivers missed some opportunities? I think their defense was great, but to blame the receivers?
Eagles Girl 84 just subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Love to have you here. No, I would say I was frustrated with. See, I don't know what plays were called or what a receiver should have ran if they had an option route or something like that. I don't think we helped out Sam based on what I saw. Like there was. The Robbie play for one, that's a touchdown. That is by far a touchdown, and he trips. And that's, it happens. People get their feet locked up, but that's one opportunity that, the Jets should have been able to capitalize on that we weren't able to. And I can't speak for what the other comments were for Gase other than, what I actually saw. But Quincy getting -4 yards, like, that's pitiful. You can't have that happen.
Yeah. All right, I just hope to do better next week and start 1-1.
Dude, I appreciate the call, and I look forward to your call next week. Do. And where's the ejector seat sound? That's it! You're out of here! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Appreciate the call, as always. Black uniforms on Monday. I like it. Blackout. First time we're going to get to see that in a game. I'm a big fan of the blackout. Now, hopefully, we start out a little better than how we started week 1. I'm not sure if I'm going to the Monday night game. There's the possibility of me going. My dad's coming up from Florida, so I might try to catch a game with him. It's been a while. TJ Decker says, I hate how they completely abandoned the run. Now, Darnold had something like 41 pass attempts. That's not something you want to see. You want to be able to establish the run, but I think because we didn't see much out of the run, and also the screen passes are kind of a way to run the ball via the pass. And we see that a lot with Tom Brady. Now, obviously, Tom Brady had a bunch of long passes yesterday, so it makes me look like a fool sometimes. But overall, I think our offensive line just hurt so much that we weren't able to run the ball the way we wanted to. So we set up the screen, and I don't think we were able to have deeper routes down the field because Sam couldn't throw into the, couldn't step up in the pocket to throw it deep. That's obviously where I fall on this. I think the offensive line lost it for us along with the kicker. Obviously, the kicker's the bigger one, but whatever. Need to play offense like we did in the preseason. I agree, Joe. The issue with that is the defenses are not playing defense like they did in the preseason. You're getting a lot of vanilla defenses out there. It's really not good to try and judge what we saw in the preseason versus what we got in the regular season. Now, I do think the Bills are the best defense that we've faced thus far, hands down. I think they're going to be an incredible defense this entire year, and we shouldn't take this as a be-all, end-all for us Jet fans. What do we got? What's up with the free runner off the edge all day when we were on offense? Seems like scheme. I agree. It seemed like there was always someone coming free at Sam. Sam was running around for his life yesterday. Maestro, kneecap Landry, please. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But I would love when we play the Patriots if we make Antonio Brown and Tom Brady not want to play the next down. That would make me feel good. I want to hit them so hard that they don't want to play. That's the goal. Injury? No. Hurt them or hit them so hard that they don't want to play. Good with that. Steven says he needs a shower. Because damn. Hit the showers, my friend. No stinking up the live stream. You cannot go empty that many times when you have suspect O-line and a great D-line from the Bills. TJ Decker. I agree. I think when you spread everyone out, the goal is to try and have that quick pass when you have everyone out there. You're not throwing, 5 guys going deep, but you need to have the back end chipping. I think we saw that a bit. We were able to see the guys playing, the chip on the side with the running back. I think that's fine. What's good, Chris?
Chris from Florida. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's good, Chris? What's up?
Not much, man. I saw that. I figured I wanted to talk to you because I just saw something interesting and I wanted to bring it up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy, so I'm not a big fan a lot about people who are doing talk shows.
Sure.
Because they always bum down the Jets. But this one guy, I have to say, I really appreciate his credibility to not downplay our team, but at least give him a stride, which is the Herd.
Oh yeah, I like Cowherd. Now you got to take what he says with a little grain of salt because he is super biased towards Sam Darnold. He loves Sam, so he's going to try and defend him every way he can. And he's also a Patriot fan, so it kind of like rubs me the wrong way. But I do like Cowherd.
Exactly. I agree. But what I really liked was a lot of his predictions and a lot of his takes on teams so far have been kind of almost all on point. But what I really liked is how he explained that these teams that are starting off right now are going to start off low because there's been either hype around them or they've got too much stuff that's unexperienced. Like again, you mentioned how the Jets have got a new coach, a new GM, and yeah, they've got some experienced players, but a lot of their players are just now joining forces with even stronger weapons, and too much expectation on that beginning drive is there, where they're going to have to get some hard hits on some losses, but they can still rise to the occasion. So I appreciated somebody for once on TV putting some strides to the Jets and their possible upline here.
I agree. I think there's a lot of hate towards the Jets, especially because we're kind of the redheaded stepchild of New York. New York is a Giants-dominated fan base right now because they've had success over the course of their franchise history. And, it's fun when the Jets are good because then you start getting all the closet Jet fans out. They're a little more, loud and everything. And I think we would have seen a little bit more of that support had the Jets been able to pull off that victory, even if it was just by 2 points or whatever it was. The fact that we lost it the way we did looks worse, especially because our schedule's hard. Our schedule's hard in the beginning of the year, and going 0-1 against the a division rival is not something you want to have happen.
Yeah. So, based on the fact that we've got the Browns coming up next, and seeing how the Texans, no, not Texans, Titans took them down. What do you think? A lot of those points that they used and did, do we need to imply into our team when we face them? Because what I saw, in my opinion, was they really put the pressure on Mayfield. They took advantage that he's not that. Yes, he can move, but he's not as fast. And the fact that they took advantage of his shortness, so they try to cover his sight. So, what do you think?
I completely agree. I think that's the way to do it. I was going to say pressuring Mayfield is going to be the biggest thing. I don't know, based on what we saw yesterday, how much pressure we're going to be able to get to him. Now, they lost Zeitler, their guard. They traded him for Olivier Vernon. And Zeitler was, I think, the number 2 guard in the country. So I think that's going to be an area to watch. I think we could create a lot of havoc up the middle on them with Quinnen Williams, Leonard Williams, those kind of guys, McClendon. Pass rush wise, to get that pressure on Baker, that has me concerned because I don't see a pass rusher on our team right now that really scares me or makes me want, or should scare an opposing team. Now I do expect, since the Browns lost, to come back and just be dialed in for Monday Night Football, and I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping the Jets come in dialed in as well. I think if one of those teams won, there was a good chance that they would lose week 2. But I don't know. I think us losing week 1 gives us a better shot at week 2 than us winning. But that's not the way you want it to go either way.
It's a home game, especially since it's a home game. It's somewhere where you can get the big jump, get the spirits lifted because your fans are still trying to have so much faith in you and so much drive that you can continue on the fight. I believe we can still win this next game for sure. And just to up-to-date you on the reports for the questions earlier, Quinnen Williams got out early because of an ankle injury. He left with
That's
a boot,
right,
but
sprained ankle.
They're not saying it's too severe, so that's a positive on that end. And as far as Mosley, I have a good feeling because when he talked in the conference, I'm about out.
Yeah, you're about out. You got 3 seconds. That's all right. Keep going.
Mosley was talking in the conference and he said, "Hey, it doesn't hurt as bad. It does still hurt, but it's something I can probably get over." And that brings me confidence, telling me like he's gonna rest up.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for the call in, Chris. I appreciate it. I definitely like hearing that. I like hearing Mosley's ready to come back and ready to play. Now, I will say this. TJ Decker's asking, do the Bills have a better O-line than the Browns? That I'm not necessarily sure of, but I will say this. I do think Baker Mayfield is going to throw the ball much faster.
Eddie from North Carolina.
I do think he will throw the ball much faster from snap to throw than we saw from Josh Allen. What's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan. It's Eddie from North Carolina again. How you doing, man?
Love having you on. What's on your mind?
Holy shit balls. That's a George Carlin phrase. Holy fucking flying shit balls.
I love George Carlin. I wish he was still with us. Smart man.
He was the conscience of America.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could just listen to him and just like, yeah, this guy makes a lot of sense. But yeah,
I like what he said about education in the United States. He goes, "Be glad what you got. It's never going to get any better because the owners don't want that."
It's true.
Owners. And he goes, "They want us just smart enough to do the paperwork and run the machinery and not realize how badly we're getting screwed over."
Oh yeah. That's
anyway, enough of that shit.
No, I could start a whole nother channel of me just ranting about the government and like how things sorry. Jets talk. Let's go.
So, is C.J. Mosley like a keystone of the defense? Because he got hurt, and that defense just laid the fuck down.
Dude, it was embarrassing. I think what happened was Avery Williamson and C.J. Mosley are our signal callers. I think when they went down, I'd love to know who was calling the defense. I have a gut feeling it might have been like Jamal or like...
Well, that's how Avery got hurt because Adam Gase was leaving him in that preseason game to practice being the Mike linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I don't
That's
think
the
it
only
was
reason he left
necessarily.
him in is so that if anything did happen to CJ, that Avery could make the calls. And fuck, Avery got hurt. Holy shit.
I don't think that was even the reason. I think it was they had him in there so that
No,
way the
that's
other
why he
players
had him
could
in.
learn.
No, that is why he had him in so long. He wanted him to practice being the signal caller.
Well,
That's
yes, but I
exactly
think-
why he left him in.
I think he wanted the other players lined up in the right position. I think that's kind of maybe more of it. Like they knew Avery Williamson was going to start, and I guess him calling the plays, helps him as well. I was under the impression he called the plays last year under Bowles, and I guess it's a different defense. You got to learn the calls and things like that, so you do need to practice. But
Well,
yeah.
that's what it was. He was having him practice being the Mike linebacker. That's what it was. And then he got hurt running down the field. Always another guy falls on your knee, you all weirded out. And anyway, I was listening to Bell's press conference, and he was saying that it was like we kept like doing this little wrong things all day long. He says stuff we didn't even screw up in practice, and we screwed everything up. Is basically what he said.
Yeah,
And
I
he
think
says we got to look at the film
I think you got to, give credit where
because the
credit is due.
commentators
The
kept
Bills
saying
are
how many
good.
times they didn't cover the end.
Yeah.
How many times the defensive end or the cornerback blitzing off the edge, nobody ever picked him up.
Yeah. That's huge. When you have free runners at the quarterback, you're not giving him any time to run any kind of route. And if he sees him coming at him, he's going to automatically run the opposite way, which means you're losing half the route or half the field in terms of, where he's going to be able to throw the ball.
Well, let's also remember this is the first game, period, where we've had all three starting offensive linemen out there at the same time.
That's true. That's a big deal. I have not seen.
Khalil didn't play any preseason.
Rusty.
Brian Khalil, he didn't play any preseason games at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, none. And Osemele was banged up, and Winters was banged up, and just everyone was banged up. This was the first game that all three of the interior linemen were together.
Yeah, when you look at preseason right now, and you even look at the NFL, the first 4 weeks of the year are like what preseason used to be. It's a lot of working out the bugs, and you kind of figure it out. That's why winning a game so early on, while teams are still trying to figure out, is huge. There's teams that are going to be able to bounce back. The team that we saw yesterday is not the team we're going to see week 10. Like, it's going to be totally different as far as, like, the way they're working together. But, same with every other team. It's all going to, like, increase sort of at the same
Well,
time.
Adam Gase said one thing. He goes, this is the third year under their coach. He said, this is only like 6 months under me.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not making excuses. He goes, but that's not an excuse. He goes, that's a reason. They are definitely more gelled because they've been together longer. They already know everything. Yeah. Everybody's learning everything, all fresh and new. And you got two new interior linemen.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't understate the whole coach thing because when they know their defensive calls and their offensive calls. Boom! You're out of here! Hey, thank you for calling in. I apologize. I didn't give you like the last chance to talk. I just kind of ejected you. I like the ejector seat. It makes me happy. It feels good to launch people out of the cockpit. What do we got in here? Sean, thank you. And even analysts have said once our O-line is healthy and come together, they're a force. Just be patient. I hope so. I think Winters is still going to be a struggle bus type situation. I don't think he's going to get much better than what we've seen.
Call from.
Thanks, Bubs.
Big Green.
Big Green.
To accept, press 1.
What's up, Big Green? Welcome to the cockpit.
Oh, man, what a disgrace that was.
Dude, how frustrating.
What a disgrace.
Dude, I want to go on a baby punching rampage. Just bam, bam, bam. Toddlers all day. Just,
Yeah, I'm just going to go on to what that last caller was saying. It wasn't even their first game. It was their first week of full practice.
Yeah.
So I figure week 3, they should have started their backups because they were doing pretty well in preseason, all the backups.
That's just it. I'm surprised. I wonder if Edoga just played well against backups and he can't play against starters because he looked good in the preseason. I don't know what he graded out as, but I feel like I would at least give him a shot at like some offensive line position, whether that is a tackle or a guard. I mean, the way Brian Winters played, you really can't do much worse. So I'm like okay with like rolling the dice on some of these guys.
Yep. After Mosley went out, it's just like everyone just laid down.
Oh yeah, I mean it was over. It was. I didn't realize just how poorly we were going to play after he went down.
Hmm. But yeah, once we're strong in the inside the box.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
You're talking
Outside,
like a
I'm
front
terrified.
seven?
We need some corners. We need some corners.
I agree. Dow
Definitely need
Roberts,
that.
shouldn't have given up that touchdown at the end. That was, we hurt ourselves across the board. I think us not getting pressure on the quarterback, and even then, like the way we.
What about that pass interference? That underthrown ball by Darnold.
Dude,
Why didn't Gase throw the challenge flag?
I still don't understand the success rate on those kind of like challenges. I'm totally cool with throwing it. I didn't get to see the replay because I was in the stadium, so there was a lot of.
Oh, he cleaned his clock.
That's ridiculous.
He cleaned his clock before the ball even got there.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me as to why they. I don't know. You would think that the overthrows and the, it seems like the wide receivers took the brunt of the Adam Gase kind of sounding off sort of thing, and I think it's because he probably controls a little bit more about what the receivers do based on the route tree and everything, so he knows what's being called. I think, God, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I was just so frustrated. I'm out there screaming like, I broke a date with Jesus for this, and it's like I cannot. I don't know.
And then I had Crowder. I picked him up off the wire for my fantasy.
Great move.
And I started O.J. Howard. I'm like, no.
Dude, I started O.J. Howard too.
24 points.
Yep, sitting on the bench. PPR, dude. That's just it. It's like, I like Crowder. I don't have him on any of my teams, but I do like him a lot. I think he's going to, what we saw from him and the amount of receptions he got, I can expect us to have him get, I would say, at least 7 to 8 receptions a game. I don't think he'll get 14 every game, but I think he'll get a lot. I think he's going to definitely eclipse the 100 reception threshold as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, he was targeted 17 times and got 14 of them.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's when you can't block well enough to develop a deeper route, you're going to go to all your underneath guys. So that's why you see Bell and you see, Crowder doing so well or getting so many opportunities. It's because they just don't have the time to get it to a Nunwa or Robbie on the outside.
Yeah, and then now we got to go after Darnold now. He wasn't stepping into his throws. Now I'm not sure if this is all the pressure in his face or whatnot.
I agree.
But he was just like whipping it with his arm.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he looked scared. I don't want him to be shell-shocked because of a bad offensive line. You don't want him to turn into the David Carr of the Jets. Having this whole... Being able to step into a throw is going to create more accurate throws. And when he's running backwards and throwing off his back foot, and, I do think the strength of this Bills defense is up the gut, kind of like ours. Like, I think they're built similarly in that respect.
Oh, yeah.
So with our weak interior three on offense, I think we could see a better production out of some of our players as we get into future weeks. I think that's going to be a big thing that we're going to see.
Yeah, but how about Bell? He was the best blocker on the team.
Dude, he's as advertised. Him and Mosley, the 2 free agent signings that we got, those guys.
Oh man, Mosley!
Legit.
Well, he was on a whole other level. Freaking chasing. I don't even know if it was a linebacker or a wide receiver.
Dude,
down in the end zone, putting his hands up.
Yep. No, completely agree. The guy is an absolute animal. I didn't realize just how good he was until I got to see him in a full game. You got 5 seconds.
Yeah. All right, go Jets.
Yeah! Boom! Big green!
You're
My
out
brother
here!
calling in. I like it. Got another caller. What do you want?
Call from
Vinny,
to accept.
Vinny, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
what's up? That's all.
I'm frustrated, disappointed. I'm so frustrated that I wish I had the vocal talents of Roger Waters to do his iconic scream.
Dude, I am so upset with everything.
Have you ever heard that scream?
Roger Waters? You're talking like friggin' why am I drawing a blank?
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. I saw Roger Waters perform actually, or no, not Roger Waters. I saw
David Gilmour.
No, I think it was Roger Waters. Does he do a? It was him and the drummer, is what I saw. They were missing.
That's probably David Gilmour.
Yeah, it was a few years
No,
ago.
but
It was at the Garden.
Have you ever heard his scream?
I can't say I have.
Okay, hold on.
That kind of scream?
That's what I felt like.
Dude, I can't tell you how angry I was getting at the game watching those
And
kicks.
above everyone else, because above everyone else, there's one person to blame above everybody else, and that man is no longer with us.
McCagnon?
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
And here's the reason.
Dude, 2.5
No, here-
million. 2.5 million. That's the reason we did not
Four
get.
points left off the board. If we had a kicker, it changes the whole situation of that game, because instead of being down 16-17 and being the offense is under the pressure of having to score a touchdown because they can't rely on their kicker, they're up 20-16, and they can they'd be a bit more relaxed, run the clock, force the Bills to use their remaining timeouts, kick a field goal, go up by 6. And now the defense, they don't even have to force a 3-and-out because there's probably less than a minute on the clock. All they have to do is keep the Bills from getting into the end zone until the time runs out.
Yeah.
It changes the whole situation of the game, and instead of losing 16-17 in an ugly, you win 23-17. Well, still not a pretty game. You're like, at least they managed to salvage a win.
Well, that's just it. The whole not being able to win because of your kicker. Jason Myers, $2.5 million. That is the difference in price that we did not pay him, and it cost us a division win.
And
Huge
I know. I
division
mean, like and couldn't this guy even look around the NFL, see how many games people lost because they couldn't kick?
Dude, how many
The
games did we
Packers
lose
and
by
Vikings lost.
Yeah.
The Packers, the Vikings, the Browns.
Dude, there's a lot
Heck,
of...
even and the Bears. You know, all those teams had competent kickers when they needed them. Who knows what happens? The Bears, maybe they win. Maybe they give New Orleans a run for their money.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe instead of Rams Saints, you have Bears Rams.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at your highest scoring player on your team, generally it's your quarterback, and it is going to be your kicker for the most part. And there's a few that are thrown in there that are not. But generally speaking, your kicker is going to be one of your highest scoring players. And to
Yeah, I
just
know.
not worry
And the
about
worst
it.
part about it, I didn't realize it until too late because because I went to go grab some food because I was cleaning up my grandparents' basement for a party, and so I'm there, I'm excited, and then my uncle talking, and I barely hear over the radio that something about Mosley, and that was like the turning point, and that's of course when they blow the game.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I gotta ask you, since now you gotta go up to Buffalo, are you considering about vlogging that trip?
I have not figured out a good way to vlog, and I like my edited videos; those tend to do really well. Vlog wise, I mean, I guess I could do it. I could.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting. You could vlog it as the perspective of being behind enemy lines.
I could definitely do that. I almost want to do some skits. I did. Did you see the video I released of the Tom Cruise Top Gun shooting?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to do some more of those and have those really short skit kind of things to go along.
Let me guess. For when we do the Patriots, you're gonna take it from Mel Gibson's The Patriot.
I was thinking that. It's either that or I'm gonna do Tom Brady kissing his son and sucking the soul and the life juice out of his son. Because that's how he stays young. That's what it is. He's eating.
No, but I think we should honestly be able to do good against the Browns next week. Because here's the one thing we have over them.
Mm-hmm.
A coaching staff with real experience.
That's true.
That's the one reason why I didn't buy. That's the one reason why I didn't buy into the Browns hype. Was I said, this is a very inexperienced coaching staff. How are they going to handle real big game situations?
I agree. I'm extending your time. I had you like ticking down, and I was like, I just want to keep talking.
Yeah, but like I feel because you just saw what happened to them. I mean, there was also they had so much hype. It was only
Well,
it's
yeah.
really going to drag them down, and their line is weak.
Think
I
about-
feel like this it was a rough game for the Jets. I feel like it's too early to call anything on Gase. I think it'll get better with time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really.
I understand people jumping the gun, but don't overreact because we've overreacted before and we've been wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the, I lost my train of thought. I just watched Hopkins score a touchdown. I'm going against Hopkins in my fantasy league, so I'm really like losing my mind. Maestro, what's happening in that Saints game? The Texans are winning. That's what's happening in that Saints game. This is going to be a watch party. It didn't really turn out to be much of a watch party. It's just me venting about Jets,
Yeah.
which is fine. I'm okay with that.
I don't want you to get to some other callers. Go
That's
as
all right.
usual. Go Jets.
Go Jets, Vinny. I appreciate you calling in. And hold on, now I got to do the ejector seat sound. That's it. You're out of here. You're out of here. Pray the Saints are good. The best hope to beat the Cheetriots. That's just it. Now I want to get into a little bit more about this whole Antonio Brown thing. We didn't really get to talk about that. And we got a new caller.
Call from.
Mark Myers.
To accept, press 1.
Mark, what's up, dude?
Hey, buddy, I just want to tell you guys, you do a great job on that internet thing, but I just want to tell you, I think David Webb, the ex-Giant, he's the one that we have to look at right now because, we have a new offense, right? And he was there through the entire preseason, and he's now the practice quarterback for the Bills. I think it was a cheap thing to do by the Bills to try to get us try to get our plays down, our calls, because it almost seemed like the defense knew exactly what we were doing.
That's a good point, and I haven't seen that brought up yet, and that's probably one of the better points that I've seen brought up on this call-in show right now. I agree. I think losing Webb to your division rival the week before their game is huge.
The route, they knew the snap count, they knew what the timing Darnold had.
Yeah.
Webb gave us up. He's a turncoat, man. That's what he is.
I mean, that's the thing. If we didn't want him to be a turncoat, we should have kept him. I
agree. I agree, but I don't think it's as bad as everything that we saw as Jet fans. Listen, I was crying in the sauce last night. Trust me,
dude. I was so pissed. I wanted to make a video. I was like, I want to jump on here. I want to get some fresh, raw reactions, and I was like, I'm way too hammered. I can't do this. I'm gonna fall asleep.
But after I woke up today, I thought about it. It's like they knew way too much, and their defense was way too good to give them any information on us. I think Monday night we're going to see a different team. We're going to see actually what Adam Gase can do. I don't think it's time to sell out on anybody, and I think it's going to be okay.
I agree.
But
we can absolutely have that turnaround and have There's no reason, if you look at the last few times we've made the playoffs, we've lost that first game. You can lose the first game and move on. Just, hey, reset right now. We got a 15-game schedule. Let's go 15-0. And then you just keep,
Hey, listen, last year in Detroit, week 1, we looked awesome.
Oh, yeah. If we could flip our season around, where we finished? 5-11? I'll take 11-5. I'll take 11-5 all day.
I think this was a cheap ploy by the Bills to try to get a win out of us. They got it. You got to give it to them. But I don't think it's going to work next time. I don't think Gase had enough time to update the audibles on the offense because it's a new installation, and we just got caught where we got caught.
Yeah, I think you are spot on with that. I didn't even give that a
thought.
Awesome. I did not give it a thought.
The defense, like Mosley, I get it. He's an all-star, but the defense played really great, and I think next time around, I don't think the Bills are going to be as fortunate.
I see. This is the thing. I really believe when we face them week 17 now, I think there's going to be a lot of anger in our team as long as we're still pseudo in it, or maybe if the Bills are trying to fight for a playoff spot And now all of a sudden, even if we're knocked out, I think we're going to come with that little bit extra juice, kind of like Rex Ryan came at us that year after he left us. I think we're going to win that Week 17 matchup now, just because there's going to be a lot of anger in our players, as long as we're not rolling over.
I think this is a card trick. What we seen on Sunday was a card trick, and they got us. And kudos to them for with the Webb thing. I get it. But I don't think it's going to hold, man. I think we have a better team. I think we have a better quarterback. I think that's going to be proven throughout the year. I'm still all in on Gase and Darnold, and the running back. God Almighty, wow,
Bell looks legit. He is. I mean, he looks fresh. He took a year off. He doesn't look like he skipped a beat. He looked like he worked his ass off all off season, and he is as advertised. He could receive
that first down on 4th and 1. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that was purely him. That offensive line didn't give him any hole to run through, and he got through it. I want to see what he get. It was 4th and 1, and he got like 2 yards. Like that was all him driving his legs.
I honestly believe that this is going to start to click, and when it comes together, it's going to be something special. And that I don't know the name of the tight end that we had out there.
I think it was
Sunday.
Griffin. I want to say it was Griffin. I didn't see much of Wesco, but it's tough to see it when you're in like the nosebleeds and you're trying to, maybe not the most clear. I had some beer goggles on.
But he looked good. He almost looked. I hate to say the name, but Gronkowski-like. You know what I mean? But he was hard to tackle. Big kid. You know what I mean? He looked actually pretty good. Maybe he should get more involved in the offense.
He's a big guy. I'm looking forward to getting Herndon back. When we get Herndon back, I mean, he is such a clear matchup nightmare. Our offense is really good. It's just a matter our weapons are, I shouldn't say really good, but our weapons should complement each other well. Our offensive line is just totally crippling any shot we have.
Well, that's going to come together. I really believe it's going to come together. They didn't play a lot in preseason, and so you can't like kind of judge them on game one against the Bills defense, who was highly ranked last year. Plus the information they got from, and I'm going back to conspiracy theory with the Webb thing.
It's all right, dude. I'm all about conspiracy theories. If you watched my Brown video, I know damn well that was tampering. It's a load of crap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we just didn't end up with him. I think he's a cancer, and it's not going to be good for them.
I think he's a
they can have him.
Person.
Good luck. But listen, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to get my input in there, and you do a great job on your show, and I'm happy to be watching. So.
Dude, I love it. Thank you so much for calling in. I look forward to your call next week. I appreciate it, and you have been ejected.
You're out of here
from the cockpit. I liked it. That was a good call. That was a really good note about Webb being over there and being able to give the signals. Didn't even give that a thought. I thought when they picked him up, hey, that could happen. Completely forgot he was there. Oh, here we go. We got one of our favorites calling in.
Call from
Grandpa Mark.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press
Grandpa
2.
Mark, what's up?
Your
Welcome
caller
to the
just hung up.
cockpit.
Press 2 to call unknown caller. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Press 2 to call unknown caller.
Oh, damn. Hold on. I'm going to call Grandpa Mark back. He's going to be like, what the heck? You're calling me? Damn right. I don't know why I wasn't letting him go. Grandpa Mark. It said unknown caller before.
Wow, you called back.
I called you. I saw you calling in, and I have to press number 1 to answer your call, and I hit number 1 and it said unknown caller. And I was like, no, I can see that it's Grandpa Mark. I know he's there. So I was like, I'll get him in.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling back.
Yeah,
first of all, you might have to give me a couple of extra minutes on the time clock.
I'm not putting the timer on because I want to hear you vent about Brian Winters and his worst-ranked Pro Football Focus grade of all guards.
Yes, I will definitely get to that, but there's a couple of things I want to talk about first.
Go for it.
First of all, if you believe that Davis Webb had anything to do with that game yesterday, I mean, look, is it possible? Sure, I'm sure Webb sat there and said, "Oh, this is what they like to do. This is how they like to do it." Mm-hmm. But if it is true that happened, that just goes to show you how shitty of a coach Gase is. I mean, Cade, bottom line, if Davis Webb was not allowed, I mean, I'm sure he did, like I said,
Sure.
but if Gase couldn't change things up after waiving Webb and knowing that he was going to Buffalo, Gase is garbage.
Now,
period.
Now, how about this? And I didn't think about it till you just said that. But what if they did change things up? And what if it was the receivers that didn't learn some of the hot routes and the audibles and things like that, and that's why Gase got on him? It's possible.
Yeah, no, that's possible too. And if that is possible, that also goes to show you how shitty of a coaching staff he has.
That's rough. I mean, you should be able to. Now, what sucks is going into week 1, you probably don't expect your backup quarterback to be going to an opponent. And the goal was for Webb to hopefully be the backup, I think. I don't think it was necessarily fully Simeon's job right off the bat. If Webb could have earned it. I mean, he looked bad. Webb was bad. And
Webb was terrible.
He was so bad. But I just don't see... I don't know. I'm sure there's some intricacies of the offense that were not able to be changed. And some of that is like the knowledge of, hey, this guy gets beat on the end based on, XYZ or whatever. Or, hey, Robbie really doesn't like when he gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Or, there's little weird things that you can kind of pick up on. It may not just be play calls, but...
No, absolutely. I agree.
Snap count could definitely...
I'm sure Webb sat there and said, this guy doesn't like this guy does this guy does that, and so on and so forth. But if they, I mean, and you think Gase doesn't know that? Of course Gase knows Webb is going to go and try to tell the opposite team what the Jets like to do. But if they couldn't coach around that and change things up, then that's if it's true. That's a disgrace, but I don't think that's the case. Now, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. Let's bring up the great Mike Maccagnan.
Sure.
I hate it because I hate talking about this guy anymore because obviously he's not there. But
we have to. We inherited his roster.
Yeah, absolutely. He left us with a pile of shit. That's just the bottom line. This is what it's not all shit. But it's all, I mean, the man did not address the offensive line for what? 3 drafts?
At
4
least,
drafts?
I mean, I think he only drafted, was it Shell? Was that the only draft pick outside of, Edoga? Edoga looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know. We have to see what happens. But the man, the foundation of any offense is the offensive line. And our foundation has been so badly cracked for the last minimally 3 years. And the man did nothing about it. Okay? But this is what I want to talk about also with Maccagnan. And it also has to do with another Jets show, call-in show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention which one it is. I'm not going to mention names. But
no, I want to know. Go for it. I'm good with it.
No. I don't.
Is it a negative?
I'd rather not. But
it's a negative, not a positive. Then I guess. That's all right.
Well, to me, it's a negative, and this is what I'm talking about. On this particular show, and by the way, it's not Gangrene David.
No, I wouldn't think so. I get the feeling it's more of a podcast type show.
Yes, it's a podcast show.
Okay.
Now, there's somebody on this show that every week he brings up Maccagnan, and he's like a Maccagnan apologist.
Okay.
And what I'm getting at is the whole thing with Jason Myers. When I talked to him about the whole Jason Myers fiasco and why that the schmuck Maccagnan didn't re-sign him, the first thing out of his mouth is, oh, well, you can't pay a kicker all that money. You just can't do it. Kickers shouldn't be paid a lot of money. Okay, now, on one level, I kind of agree with that. And on another level, I absolutely don't. And this is what I mean. Of course, a guy like Taylor Bertolette or Cody Parkey or all these other loser kickers, of course, you're not going to pay those guys money, but you had a Pro Bowler.
Yep.
A goddamn Pro Bowler. And I think Seattle, when he went back to Seattle, Seattle's paying him, I think, $5 million or 5.5.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
For this season. And yes, it sounds like a lot of money, but he would be worth every penny of that money.
Mark,
right
you,
now.
Would you pay, not you, but do you think the Jets would pay $2.5 million to have a win? Because that's the difference in price. The Jets weren't willing to go to that price, and it cost us the game.
Absolutely. Right now, Myers would be worth every single penny, but
dude,
McCagnon. Go ahead.
If you think about all the games that the Jets were in last year that were decided by, within one score, and you let him walk for that kind of money, and then you still sit, I think we're at this point, we have $15 million or something like that under the cap. So, if we're not planning to spend it, why not use it on something that's, best case scenario, this team's not going to be blowing out teams week in and week out. You're going to have a lot of close games. That's how we're going to win our games. We still have a young quarterback. We still have a young team. We have a new coaching staff, all this different stuff, and a relatively hard schedule. Why would you let him walk for, an unknown? Like Catanzaro, I get it. He kicked with us a few years ago, but it's not like he had a good year last year. Like we had
Catanzaro was never in the Pro Bowl either.
No.
But look, this is another thing. The bottom line is McCagnon just couldn't see the value in re-signing a Pro Bowl kicker. That's it. That's why. And you said it earlier. This is one of the reasons why this schmuck got fired.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let me ask you something. You said it was a $2.5 million difference.
Yeah.
In between what we wanted to give him and what Seattle gave him.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard it on the radio coming home today. So that's take it with a grain of salt. Didn't do the research on it. But that sounds right.
Let's just say that's the truth. Okay. Yep. You know who's making $2.5 million this year playing for the Jets, and we picked him up as a free agent? Josh Bellamy.
Oh.
Now, would you rather right now? Who would you rather have, Josh Bellamy or Jason Myers?
Dude, Jason Myers. It's not even close. There's a lot of players I could definitely be without if we had Jason Myers, which is for kind of bonkers. And I understand you can't play money ball with kickers, I think. Your kicker's going to wind up being one of your top 2 or 3 highest point total guys. How many points do we have to our name now with Vedvik? Do we have any? I don't think we have any with him now. Or we got 3, I guess, right? Or no, it was a safety, a 2-point conversion. Yeah, we don't have any points with Vedvik.
Vedvik has not made a kick.
Yeah.
He's not made a kick. But but this is the bottom line on last thing on the Jason Myers, Mike McCagnon thing. This guy goes on his show and he preaches this. And the listeners and all the other callers that call in, if he says that, you can't, you're not supposed to pay kickers, they all agree with him. When this guy doesn't even know he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
I think it's worth paying good kickers. I understand the idea of hey, they're not going to be, maybe that backup linebacker is going to be more important than, the kicker. But even then, the kicker is so valuable because that extra point's been moved back that if you have a good one, you should hold on to it. There's a reason why Robbie Gould was franchised. You're not. They see the value in a kicker.
Look, exactly. The guy is a Pro Bowl kicker. And last week, I told you what his record was in the preseason. Mm-hmm. He started right where he left off last year, Jason Myers.
Yeah, I think he missed what?
And what? Are the Seattle Seahawks that crazy because they gave him $5 million? But this is the thing. Where is it written in the NFL General Manager Handbook? In what chapter does it say you're not supposed to pay kickers?
Dude, it's one of those things that, a kicker's not a football player. He's a kicker. The rest of the team is, good. And I get it. If kickoffs are moved up and you can easily get a touchback now because you don't need a stronger leg or you don't need as much, I don't want to say knowledge, but you don't maybe need the kicker quite as much. But like he's still scoring you a ton of points. You got to be able to make the extra point. If you can't make the extra point, it means you're probably not going to make the field goal from there either. There's just a lot of pressure that comes on that position. And look, Vinatieri's been in the league for 25 years. There's a reason he's there. One, I mean, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame as probably the best kicker ever. But, I mean, he's cool, calm, and collected. And his leg is gold. He's worth, I mean, now, granted, I think he missed 3 kicks yesterday. So it's really not, I shouldn't be maybe talking about him. But the kicker in general is one of your most valuable players.
Right. Well, look, we absolutely agree on that, and the bottom line is the kid was in the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
He was one of the 2 best kickers in the league last year. Period. And there's absolutely no excuse as to Ryan McCagnon. And when I hear the whole money thing, it drives me crazy. But anyway, so yes, let's get to Mr. Winters. Now, I heard what you said about him at the beginning of the show, and I was very upset with you, Ryan. And wait, would you like to know why I was upset with you?
I would love to know why, because I feel like I definitely shouted you out, and I definitely said, hey, Graphic Mark's going to be upset with Brian Winters.
Yes, no, I was very upset because you said Winters is terrible, which is 100% correct, but you didn't give him kudos where he deserves it.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm talking about is he only made 1 holding penalty yesterday.
That's impressive. I'll be honest, I did not look at the penalty stats. I wasn't sure who actually caused the most or hurt us the most. But based on
well, what happened was I was watching the game, and they get called to the hold. It was at the beginning of the game. And I'm like, and the ref says holding, and I'm like, 67. Say it's 67. Sure enough, holding number 67. I was like, oh, shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, like it's starting already. But no, that was the only penalty he had committed all day. So maybe as far as penalties, he's getting better. But no, he has got to be replaced. He is by far the weakest link on that line.
Oh, for sure.
Anybody. This guy Lewis they resigned, Compton, Edoga, anybody. But what is amazing to me, Ryan, is how can this coaching staff, and especially after the last 2 or 3 seasons that he's had, how can they not try somebody else at that spot? It's just amazing to me.
My guess, if they're not starting someone at that spot, there's probably a financial reason. Like, it's probably like, hey, this guy's getting paid this much money, he should be starting. And there's probably a team aspect. Like, I've heard Winters is a pretty nasty guy, and when he is playing well, I mean, I don't know, there's a reason why he got that contract initially, and we just haven't seen it. I just wish we had maybe the balls to try someone else.
Well, that contract was what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, I want to say it was at least 3.
So, I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't even, like, we have no loyalty towards him. Like, Gase did not, sign that contract. There's no loyalty to that. Like, you can bring in someone, you should just be like, hey, let's give someone else a try. And maybe Edoga can't play guard. Maybe, Compton is, a backup because that's how good he is.
Because he's a backup, right.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But bottom line here is they got a long way to go.
For sure.
They really do. With the Jets, look, I don't make predictions and whatever, but you don't want to hear my predictions. You
mean like record-wise or like...
Yeah, like record-wise. And that's why I didn't give you any... I never gave you any predictions whenever I called.
Yeah, it's smart not to.
But I mean, did that game... Yeah, so many people were shocked and amazed and so forth over yesterday's loss. Was I shocked and amazed? Absolutely not.
No, not at all. I've definitely said... I was going to say, I definitely said to you in the past that there is a real shot the Jets go 0-5 to start the year and 0-3 to go into their bye week. And if you go 0-3, there's a good chance that you're rolling over the rest of the season because there's like a 2% chance that you make the playoffs. And that's why this first game was so important. And us losing it, I don't want to be like, hey, we're over, season's done. But we need
It's still
to be...
It's still only the first game. Bottom line.
I just had someone post something in the thing, and I really hope this isn't true.
What? Mosley's out for the season.
I don't see anything on anything else that I've seen for that. So I'm going to take that as false for right now.
Well, what does it say?
Well, he says Mosley out for the season, but I don't see that anywhere else. So he's just
wait, that's in the chat?
It's in the chat, yeah.
Oh no, he's probably just trolling.
Yeah. No, well, I had to check. I was like, you know what? I wasn't paying attention to the Twitter sphere, so I gotta take a look. Don't worry, Jet fans. No news yet. It sounds like he's gonna be all right.
Now, you know something, lastly on this whole linebacker thing, why not possibly bring in a guy like Brandon Marshall? He's still sitting at home.
I don't know how he's played over the course of the last few years. I know when he was in Denver, he was really good, but I'd have to actually see what he's been up to. Now, if Mosley is, hampered in any kind of way, maybe it's worth bringing in a veteran. I would have liked to have seen us grab Kiko Alonso, but he's with.
Right. Yeah. No. He's with somebody else.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, I mean, once Mosley was out, the defense just threw their hands up, and that kid Blake Cashman, he looked lost.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's not enough knowledge for our third and fourth string linebackers to be in and try to call it defense. If you put Cashman out there with Mosley, I think there's probably a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more like, hey, okay, I'm in the right position. Okay, I know who I'm guarding. When you don't have the guy that can line guys up, because you got to think that Jamal is lining up the secondary. You got to think that Leonard Williams is probably lining up the defensive line. And losing both Williamson and Mosley, the guys who have called our defense for the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever it was, there's no one else there. It's, Lee's gone. Lee would have been able to at least have some knowledge with it because he did it a little bit, but.
Right. Yeah. No. Where we have problems with our depth, we have big problems. And lastly, next Monday's the game. Are you going to be on live? Are you doing anything for the game?
I don't know. So it depends, I guess. I'll be on. What do I do? I don't know if I want to watch the game and then maybe go on live right after the game. It depends if I go to the game. That's really the biggest thing because my dad and mom are coming up from Florida and we were talking about going to the game and I don't know if where that stands right now. If they decide they're not going to it, then I am totally good with doing some kind of either. The trouble is I stream all my stuff off Reddit, so it's like a 30-second delay or 45-second delay from the game there. And then when I get it to me actually saying something about it, my screen delays it like 30 seconds. So it's like a minute and a half behind. So I don't really like doing the live stream while the game's going on because it's delayed so much. Like I'll see what happens in the chat before I actually see the play, and that's like frustrating for me. Like I might have to just take away the chat and like just call it as I see it, but it's gonna be delayed. That's the thing.
Right.
So I might do reactions immediately after. That would be probably more my realm that I'd like to be in.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks for calling back. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I will talk to you next time.
Sounds good, Mark. Thank you so much, Grandpa. Boom! You have been... I'm right-clicking, not right-clicking. Boom! Ejected from the call.
You're out of here!
See, there's certain callers that I think I'm going to... I shouldn't say certain callers, but there's certain... Grandpa Mark, I don't need to give him a timer. I could talk nonstop with him. I feel bad because I like talking to all you guys, but I can tell when I get a bunch of calls, it's like... Oh, we got another one. Here we go.
Call from
Big Green.
Big Green, brother. What's up, dude?
I think you should do that live stream like he was just talking about with Jets HQ. I think he's very knowledgeable. It's a good time and then his stream.
I like Howie. I could do something with Howie for sure. I haven't actually talked to him ever. I've talked about it in this stream, but I don't know if he's ever actually been in any of my chats or anything like that. I could reach out to him if I decide I'm not going to that game. I could definitely do some type of live stream. I don't know if it would be a call-in show. That's the only thing, though.
Nice. Yeah, you guys. That'd be cool if you guys could link up, do a live stream together and take phone calls. I'm not sure how that would even work. I'm not too savvy with the technology.
It's not too bad. The one thing I ran into when I did it with #sports was it kind of lagged a little bit. And I don't know if it's my computer setup, because right now the way I do it is I have a Mac and I have Boot Camp, so I run Windows on my Mac. And the Windows software, or the program I use to stream, is a Windows-based program. And it allows me to do a bunch of different things on it. And when I have, the Mac running Boot Camp, which then runs Windows inside of it, and then I'm running this program inside of it, and then I'm taking phone calls, then I think when I add the extra stream of the person, I think it probably throws a little bit off. But I could do it again, because I did it with Gangrene David and it worked fine. So it may just be me troubleshooting stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that, and I saw that NFL Network posted something that Quentin Williams was in a leg brace or something like that for his ankle.
Yeah, I heard he sprained his ankle, so I don't know when he'll be, good to go. Hopefully he's ready for Monday night. Hopefully it's not too bad of a sprain.
Yep. And what do you think the score will be of the Browns-Jet game? How do you think we'll do? You think we'll do good? You think because both teams need to prove something, so that would be a start of a new rivalry, in my opinion.
I think it's definitely going to be the start of a new rivalry, because I think when you look at the team that's going to finish in first place in both divisions, it's probably going to be Pittsburgh, and it's probably going to be the Patriots. So that means we're battling for second or third each year, and then that's kind of who you play. Unless you're playing your division, we're playing the NFC or AFC North this year, so we automatically face the Browns. But we faced them last year because we both finished last in our division the year prior. I could see Baker. I think that team's going to be really dialed in. I think they're going to be pretty pissed that they got embarrassed the way they did. Coming into MetLife, I'm hoping there is enough.
Yeah, they got punched in the face talking all that smack.
We got deflated. They got just obliterated. There's two totally different things. We got Mark Myers saying Browns, Jets 24-28. Steven saying, hey, Becca, keep it down. She's getting something in the fridge. Let's see. If I'm being optimistic, I think we're going to need to score a lot of points to go against the Browns. I think we're going to wind up being, I don't know, somewhere in the 28-point range, I think, to win that game. I don't know if we'll need 30, but their defense is tough. They're going to be able to rush the passer, so I don't know if we're going to be able to develop routes downfield. Our offensive line is really what's killing us.
So I'm going to put Crowder in my fantasy league this week.
That's just it. Crowder's going to get – I think Crowder is absolutely going to get the same amount-ish of targets. I think we're going to see him get 7 to 10 receptions a week consistently. It may not be a ton of yards, but it's going to be, a lot of those PPR points.
Definitely. All right, well, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about Howie, and, well, let me go. I got to eat, so I'll watch the Saints game. So you have a good one.
I like it. You too, dude. I will definitely reach out to Howie, because that would be kind of cool. And I'd like to do something – I always wanted to do some kind of Jets roundtable kind of thing, where maybe it's a few of us on here. And I would have liked to get, me, Jet Central, maybe Gangrene David, and could do Howie, do 4 panels, and we're just all talking. There's a lot of knowledge that could be dropped from a conversation like that. But everyone's so busy with their own thing, it's tough to get everyone on board with the same kind of layout and the same, time restraints. And now maybe I just invite all 4 of them. It's hey, every Monday, if you can make it, you can make it. This is going to be the time. Hey, guess what? We got Jet Central on this week, with the other 2, or maybe we got, just 1, or maybe just me, freewheeling. That's possible as well. That's what's tough. just don't know. Saints scored. How is Watson looking? I haven't seen... I know Watson's out right now, or was out. I haven't really been paying attention. I've been venting. Browns O-line sucks. If CJ plays and is able to get guys lined up, you'll be fine. Robert! Is this my buddy Robert? I think it is my buddy Robert. Yes, it is! What's up, dude? See, I told you I was going to do a reaction video. I didn't really do a reaction video. I did a reaction live stream. So I wanted to sit down and do it. Rob, I don't know if you know Huey and Charlie, two guys from Black Bear, our cart guys. Got me a little tuned up yesterday. And I wasn't in any sort of shape to make a video after the game. So I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that I didn't get to do that for you guys. And my videos take a little bit longer to make, which is a little bit of an issue. So maybe I just go off the cuff. But I don't like my off the cuff stuff. Off the cuff stuff isn't... I mean, I can rant and go on and on like that. But I feel like... Why no hat and goggles, Greg? I got them right here, but I just got the haircut. So I was going to try and not really wear the hat. But if you want the hat, I could wear the hat like this. My hair's all prickly. I tried some new like gel that they're like, oh yeah, why don't you give that a go? But it like kind of hurts. And it's also a winter hat. And it's still like technically summer. So we'll throw the hat back there. Got that. This is probably the first live stream that I'm not consistently wearing the hat on. I usually wear the hat and I take it off, and I wear the hat and I take it off. Pilot tonight. Of course I do. Yeah, you definitely know Huey and Charlie. I think so. I don't know where you guys fall in line with like school and whatnot. Rob's a good dude. I like Rob. He's a Baltimore fan. He was very upset when the Jets got C.J. Mosley. And I know C.J. is one of his favorite players, and I could not be happier to have him. I think we... You know, I said we overpaid him, and $17 million is a ton of money to pay a guy. The dude is as advertised. He is absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see this guy healthy and just playing consistently, because our defense looked totally different after he got injured. It's not a good thing for us. Not a good thing for us Jet fans. You start getting injuries. Cagnon did something right. Stream until 10, right? T-Jazz Jr. I guess so. Why not? We're watching the Monday night game too. I don't... should I have been actually talking about the game? Maybe. I probably could have. I haven't been. I'm still trying to figure out this whole stream during the actual game. Should I be streaming during Monday Night Football so we can kind of watch it on the side and talk a little Jets and vent? Should I change it to a different day and not live stream on Mondays? Now, I'll have a little more flexibility. My schedule, the way it works right now, as far as like my work schedule goes, you have, or I have, there's a lot of outings. I work in the golf industry. A lot of golf outings in September and the beginning of October. So once that kind of winds down, the middle of October through the end of the season, you should be able to get more videos out of me. Mosley is a dude. He's not overpaid. I love Mosley. I'm just saying, strictly from a positional standpoint, $17 million for an inside linebacker is a ton of money to pay someone. But, that being said, have no issues with it. No issues at all. We have $15 million. I would have overpaid for our kicker, and we could have had that. Ryan, I've mentioned this 10,000 times, but are you still confident in Sam? I am absolutely 110% confident in Sam. I'm concerned that we're not doing enough to actually protect him and to give him the time that he needs. He's still a young quarterback. He's 22 years old. I mean, he's younger than almost every quarterback in the league. Even like the guys that came out this year, he's like within a few months of him. No. It's just talk. It's just talk? What are you talking about? Mosley's overpaid. No, it's just talk. I'm so confused. I do want to touch on this. You guys said talk about Brown. I could talk about Brown. You want me to talk about Antonio Brown? I'm pissed. I don't like Antonio Brown. I think he is a terrible human being. You know, he might save puppies and kittens and, all the stuff in the, outside of football that I don't get to see. But he's a shitty person. He absolutely destroys the locker rooms. He absolutely, Big Green, tampering. That's exactly it. When you look at what Brown did after the whole thing went down with Mayock, he actually went to different social media people and asked how he could get out of his contract. Now, I don't have any sources for that. That is what I was told via, I don't know if it was Twitter or ESPN radio. They were talking about it earlier in the day. And the fact that he went out of his way. Dab. Ow. Ow. When you sneeze and your body hurts. Ow, I don't know why that happens. Okay. Okay. So when a guy goes out of his way to try and get out of his contract that he signed just so he become a free agent, that should be grounds for suspension if I were the NFL. But the NFL won't suspend him. You know why? Because he's one of the best players in the league, and that drives ratings, and that drives revenue. That's why Tyreek Hill was not suspended. You can't tell me that the NFL is looking out for the integrity of the league when you let guys like this play and do that to the league. You just can't do it. I hate that he went to the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. I hate Brown. And yeah, I'm a little salty about it. I did not want him. They did a poll on ESPN, and I want to say it was, I think it was like 85% of fans said they do not want Brown on their team's roster. They're like, no, he's not worth it. And I completely agree. I would not want him anywhere near this roster, even though he would have drastically helped us.
Call from
Mark Mother Effin Myers.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
What is up, Mr. Myers?
It's Mark Mother Effin Myers. I don't know if I can say the line, but that's what it is.
I like it. What's
but
on
listen,
your mind?
here's the deal, my man. All right, Maccagnan, he was a slouch. All right, he got us nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
anybody can make a first-round pick. Okay, this team doesn't have depth. Okay, our guys on the practice team are no good. Okay, he wasted second-round picks, third-round picks, and Gase and Douglas are trying to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, our biggest issue with Maccagnan was his drafting because his free agent acquisitions, yes, Tremaine Johnson hurt bad last year, but, I mean, Maccagnan was able to find some value in late round stuff. Not necessarily drafting late round, but, getting Fitzpatrick and getting the best season ever from a Jet, or close as far as touchdowns are concerned. Best season ever. You get Brandon Marshall for a late round pick. Arguably one of the best Jet seasons.
That round pick for Marshall was like an awesome deal. And that's when I really I had faith in him.
Yeah, same.
But after that second round pick for that quarterback, it's like Jesus God.
That was bad. There's a statistic
and
that I saw. It was like any quarterback.
I had high hopes for Bryce. It's like poor Joe Douglas is trying to put the pieces back together. I mean, the team just doesn't have depth right now.
Yeah, and I think you got to give him a little bit of a pass. I think give him a full offseason of, we're going to have a good amount of cap space. You're going to have all your draft picks at your disposal. You get a year of progression from your rookie quarterback to show why free agents should go there, why this change of culture is there. And now we're going to need to play better. Guys are more apt to want to play with Le'Veon Bell, to play with C.J. Mosley, to play with a Sam Darnold. There's reasons why, Khalil came out of retirement. I'm sure it was the paycheck, but it was also, they believe in this team. And I think there's a lot of hope for this team, and that's why I want to see it turn around. I don't want to see our team go flat, even if we go 0-3 to start the year. I hope we're young enough where we keep fighting and we just try to get better.
That would be terrible. 0-3. Oh my God, you're giving me shockwaves.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you look at it. The Jets are not a favorite going into the Browns game. I think we're a 1.5 point underdog at home, which is basically like a 4.5 point, kind of.
Gotcha. I got this, but that's all based on the Bills game, and the Bills game
Correct.
is a wash. Trust me, that's a fluke. It's not going to happen again.
Well, correct.
But-
I don't
but-
think the Browns' defense is going to be as good as the Bills. Like, I think the Bills are still probably like either the best defense or a top 3 defense.
Yeah, and having inside information helps.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, for sure. I really didn't give that much of a thought, but it makes a lot of sense, at least to some extent.
But the other thing is I believe the kicker is very underrated. Every time he takes the field, he's going to make you points. He's going to put points on the board.
Yeah.
And I really believe that they underrated the kicker Myers, which no relations, by the way. But just any kicker in general, okay, he's worth points. Okay, so he's worth paying. And I really think they underestimated that. I don't know if that was a Mac decision or a Gase decision, but we're really in a spot where, games come down to 3-point spreads, and having the kicker that can make the kick makes all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that $2.5 million is what cost us that game is ridiculous. If you ask any GM across the country, hey, would you pay $2.5 million of your team's salary cap to get a win? They're going to say absolutely yes. And,
Of course.
you didn't
Yes.
know that was going to be the thing. Like, you were going to hope, like, hey, we could get, we had, let's call him the number 1 kicker last year in the league, just because he made the Pro Bowl. Maybe we could get a top 12 kicker for, the price we're looking for. But you may get, a guy that has never kicked in an NFL game before and will never make any kicks for you. Like, that's just, the reality of it. And the Jets, really, they crapped the bed.
The kicking on this is horrible, and I'm gonna put the blame squarely where it belongs. It's Mac.
Yeah. No, it's got to be. I mean, we signed
He didn't-
Canzero,
the
and then
guy, and maybe the guy was asking too much. You could have backloaded the contract. I don't know, gave him more guaranteed money. I don't know. You could have figured it out. Okay, but for him to just straight out release the guy,
yeah,
and then come up with this Polite pick, and then Polite gets just cut from the team. It's like, this is why we are where we are.
Yeah, you can't blow 2nd and 3rd round picks, and the Maccagnan era is littered with bad guys, bad picks that should be helping this team. You need to hit on your first 3 picks. That's what's got to happen, or at least if
The first 3 picks has to be guaranteed.
They have to be guaranteed at least making the roster and being depth players, based on merit, not based on draft selection.
McCagnon picked somebody that was on the injured reserve list. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I said the same thing when Sean Austin. It's like, all right, okay, you threw away a pick. Like, could you have traded for anyone with that? Like, you're telling me for, what was it, a 6th round pick, I think? If you have that pick and you could have gotten, I'm sure the Chiefs gave away Justin Houston. I would have traded that pick for Justin Houston. Now you have a pass rusher. Now, of course, the money comes into question too there, but I would have definitely paid for Justin Houston over, what we
for
currently have
Brandon
on the roster.
Marshall, 7th round pick, right? And then do this deal. Like it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, just the ability to rush the passer and just have guys that have the skill level to be a 3rd round pick or better. Like, the fact that we don't have any real 2nd rounders. Our best 2nd rounder under Mac has got to be May, and that's I think it. I don't know who else we would have on the roster still.
May's good. I like May.
Yeah, I like May a lot. He's got to stay healthy, but I like May.
But even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
That's just
I'm
it.
saying.
That's like my golf game. My golf game is a blind squirrel. It's terrible. No, dude, missing on the Polite pick hurts because he looked like he had at least the moves. The guy just had no passion though, and you
can see that he wasn't even trying in the preseason. He wasn't even trying.
It was fascinating to me to see that kind of effort, and I said it in my videos too. I was like, this is like this. I hope it's not a lack of effort. I hope it's him learning, and I'm just watching. I'm like, man, I just cannot get any kind of steam going for this guy.
the thing is, you can't hold Gase and you can't hold Douglas responsible for this roster.
Yeah, no, well,
You
that's
know,
just it.
they let McCagnon spend the money,
Yep.
bring in his people, and then they fired him, which was stupid to begin with. Okay, like they should have never let him do that.
Now,
And
if we
it is
think if
what
we
it
think
is.
that Douglas is the answer, if that's the case, and they felt like they were not going to be able to get Douglas at the beginning of the offseason, then I can understand kind of letting
I
it
believe
happen.
in Douglas. I believe in Douglas.
But that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like if we had tried to get Douglas early on, I don't think, from what I've heard, we wouldn't have gotten him that early.
Well, I think the problem with Douglas was he wanted them to spend 3 times the amount on the scouting department, and they weren't ready to do that.
Oh, see that? Well, the scouting is so important in today's NFL. You need to have good drafts. That's how you win in this league.
Right.
And you can't piss away. Look at this. We have 3 more years of cheap Darnold right now, and you have to win a ring while he's on that cheap deal. It's going to be very hard unless he decides to pull a Brady and, take money under the table and just like not get paid like a top 10 quarterback. Now, if Darnold, when he's up with his rookie contract, wants a 10-year deal and like make it so he gets $1 zillion in guaranteed money, but it's not a total cap busting number, I'd do it.
Well, that would be, you know what, if he wants a cap busting number, we're going to be the Chargers.
I think we're going to, there's a real potential when Darnold's up for his deal, we're probably going to get like a $200 million contract because Mahomes is going to break the quarterback market.
He can. It's okay. Listen, that team is stacked, and I like Mahomes, and I think he's a talented guy, but the problem is that if he takes that money, he's not going to have those players around him.
Sure. And now, I do think of the quarterbacks that we've had on our roster over the course of the last 20 years or whatever, I think Darnold is the most capable with a little bit less talent around him. I think if you draft well, you can put Sam Darnold as a high-paid quarterback and be okay. And that's premature, I know, but when you look at the analysts and things like that, like Tony Romo and him watching, he's like, this guy's going to be really good. Like,
I'm not sure it's premature. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay,
I'm fine with
really think is Darnold is young.
He is.
Okay, and everybody forgets how young he is. Okay, and it's like you got to give this kid time to mature.
Sure.
Okay, he's a guy. We're not going with anybody else. We didn't draft anybody else. We got him. It was a gift from the football gods that we got him.
Yep.
Okay, and we're riding with him. Okay, and he's a little young. He's a little scared, but it's okay. He's going to mature, and he's going to be the guy that we think he's going to be.
Yeah. I think
believe
we groom him the right way, and I'm hoping Gase is the guy to do that, because I know Bowles was not, and I know Bates was not. It was ugly last year. But
I know Gase called a lot of slack this week for his press conference, but you know what? He needs to call everybody out.
Well, that's just it.
You know, if you mistake, you need to be called out on that. And I'm tired of this Todd Bowles like, oh, we got to clean it up, we got to fix it, we got to do this, we got to do that. You know, at least Gase is saying, hey, listen, Robbie on his double move should have run.
Yeah,
I like that. Was overthrown.
I like that there's accountability. That's what it comes down to. Like, you
Yes.
know, when they said that they asked him why didn't Ty Montgomery have more opportunities, and Gase says, "I'm the head coach. I make that call," and you know, he puts it on himself. I would like to have heard more. Like, was he not ready? Was there a matchup issue or something?
Yeah, but how do you take the ball out of Bell's hand?
Well, that's just it. Like,
Tell me how you do that.
He's so good. It's hard to not have Bell getting the kinds of touches he's getting. Like, I hope he continues to see. I think he got 25 touches yesterday. I think it was like 17 rushes and like 10 or 9 receptions maybe, or attempts. But he was on the field for every single play. When you look at guys across the league, the only two running backs that were on the field for every single play were Le'Veon Bell and Christian McCaffrey. Those were two guys that are going to be incredibly valuable to both their teams. and are going to determine the success that both those teams have. And honestly, I don't know if I fault Gase for going with so many screens and like short routes just because of how porous that offensive line is. Like we are in terrible shape right now across the offensive line.
Yeah, but we're new.
Yeah.
We did not play in preseason together, and that was apparent. Okay. Khalil, I forget his name. I think it's Khalil, but he took responsibility for the communication on the offensive line, and that's improved. But you've got to get the ball to the best player on the field, and right now the best player on the field is Bell.
Yeah, he looks as advertised. He looks like he's fresh.
And we got him on the cheap.
Yeah. I mean, you think about, we didn't pay we paid top dollar, but it wasn't, it wasn't the highest running back contract. It was the second, and now it's, I think, third or fourth right now. There's a lot to be excited with Bell.
Bell is as advertised, okay? And I would not trade him for the world, and he's going to make plays, and we got to just figure out how to get the ball in his hand and not be predictable about it.
Yeah. Do you think...
I think we're a little predictable on Sunday, when a run was coming. We got to be a little less predictable, like lining them up as a wide receiver going 5 wide. That's when we had our most success.
Yeah.
And like it created a little confusion with the defense. That was good. I have faith in Gase that he's going to use them the right way. It's just that we got to give this kid a little bit of time. We have to remember that he's young and not put all this pressure on him that he has to be the comeback kid and he has to be the star and the willing power to win. We have other pieces in place.
Yeah, I think it makes it better if you have a good offensive line. Like I would trade a good pick for a good offensive lineman. I would trade a good defensive player for a good offensive lineman. If those were options that we had, like I really like what the Cowboys did. They just went heavy O-line for like 3 or 4 years. And now they are set up for a long time. Now, unfortunately, Sam's not going to be on his rookie contract for us to be able to enjoy that kind of success, but we could do it over the next 2 years. If you go, I would go heavy running back or heavy O-line. Dude, first, second, third round. If you want to do that, go, tackle, center, guard, boom, in a straight shot. And then you take your skilled players in free agency because those guys are going to be able to transfer over well.
Yeah, but there was a coach, I forget his name. His name just slips from me right now. That drafted offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. And it was like those weren't sexy picks, but you know what? Those were the picks we need to make.
Yeah. You look at our team over the last 20 years, our offensive line has been really good, and that's because we've had DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, you have Kevin Mawai, you have, all those guys. I mean, even, Faneca, friggin' Brandon Moore. You have all these offensive linemen over the course of the last, good chunk of years that have really, that's why Curtis Martin was such a good rusher. We had Kevin Mawai leading the way for him. And, we need that kind of help on the offensive line.
No, we do. And it's been abandoned, and they haven't addressed it. And that, again, it goes back to the beginning of my call. It's like, this is McCagnon's mess.
What was that?
It's McCagnon's mess.
Yeah, no, it really is.
And you, it's very hard to settle Gase and everybody with this mess that he made, okay? Because he really didn't move the pieces that he needed to move. He wasted picks, and now we're suffering the consequences.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
when Mangini was there, he built that offensive line.
Yep. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Mangini was.
He got saddled with Brett Favre, which he didn't want. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that was the beginning of the downfall.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a healthy Bennington instead of Favre. Now, Favre got us to 8-3, and that was, if Favre didn't get hurt, I think we could have made a lot of noise.
I'm not really sure that the quarterback we had, Pennington, wouldn't have gotten us to 8-3 either.
That's true.
Because he's the only one. that won the division had New England that in front of any other quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
and why we got rid of him, I have no idea.
Well, it's because we had the chance to get Brett Favre, and Brett Favre sells tickets. That's what it was. I mean, when
he also sends pictures. You know what I mean?
That's just it. He's got his little. I saw a Jets fan. It was the year after Favre left us, and he went to the Vikings, and we played him at. I think it was. Was it at MetLife? I think it was at MetLife, and the guy had a Jet Favre jersey on. And he like put tape over the name, and instead of Favre, it said inches, so it was 4 inches. And I was just like, "This guy's brilliant." I was like, "See, I love Brett Favre. Like, I'm a big Brett Favre fan, but dude, there was
I was not a Brett Favre fan when he was with the Jets.
No,
absolutely not.
I
thought he was there for the money. He wanted to get to the Vikings.
Yep. And I mean, he wasn't going to get to go to the Vikings. That was the thing. I mean, he had to retire and have us release him in order to get there. And that I think there was some kind of weird trade clause where it was like we would have given up, I think, 3 first-round picks if we sent him to the Vikings. Which, like, if the Vikings would have given us 3 first-round picks to, like, offset it, okay.
Yeah, Chad Pennington was a real Jet. He was a good quarterback. He struggled with the deep ball, I get it, but, you know, like, that was the first line of mistakes that we made with the coach. You know, and now we're back with Maccagnan. We're suffering the consequences of that. You know, but I don't think you can hold this regime responsible for that.
Yeah, it's tough to hold this regime responsible for the issues that we had before. And what sucks is you don't really get the time as a GM. And I think the Jets have done a good job of letting the GM try to make the picks and to try and grow it. And, like, even though Maccagnan had some bad picks, they didn't pull the trigger on getting rid of him just yet because, you know, you kind of got to figure it out here and there. Now, I'm hoping with Douglas, they're spending the money on him more than they wanted to spend. Hopefully they spend money on, you know, the scouting department, and they can actually get guys that are legitimately good because you need to hit on these early round picks. But
now, here's the deal. I just want to tell you.
Yep.
Mark motherfucking Myers says, I believe in Joe Douglas.
I do too.
I know a lot of Philly fans. Trust me, I work with them all. It's like a nightmare. That just
you got to be in South Jersey then.
But they were so upset that we got Joe Douglas.
Yep.
And that makes me believe in the guy and what he's done so far. Kudos.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have much to work with.
Dude, in just the very brief time he was here, he's like, hey, I'm going to get a really good all-pro center and make him come out of retirement. I'm going to throw some money at him. I want to protect our investment in Sam Darnold. And, yeah, he's shaking off the rest. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to get, you know, gel with the rest of the offensive line. But I'm going to go get that guy. Then it's like, okay, kicker. Oh, I'm going to turn over every stone. You know, I know this kicker from Baltimore. Okay, well, we didn't want to give up a pick for him. He went to the Vikings. Hey, we got him for free, basically, as far as, you know, picks are concerned. It bit us in the ass, but it's not his fault that we had to look for a kicker. We should have signed our kicker back in free agency.
Well, my point is with Joe Douglas is this is a guy, and I can't say this about every GM that we've had, and I've been a Jet fan for a while. I got gray hair and all kinds of shit. But
that's all right.
I'm a Mark Gastineau kind of guy. You know what I mean? But,
oh, absolutely.
But I can't fault. I got to give Joe Douglas some time here. I really believe that he was thrown into a bad situation, and you got to give him an off season to right the ship.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I think he's going to stay here for the duration of Sam's rookie contract, I think. His goal is going to be to surround Sam with weapons, to make Sam want to stay here, to want to like get that second contract, and to, you know, progress him. We want Sam to be the franchise quarterback. If Sam is not the answer, we got a lot of waiting to do.
Well, no, I think Sam's the franchise quarterback. I really do. I just don't think that he's a miracle worker. Okay, and it's like he needs pieces around him, and I don't see Sam as being like overly, you know, like he wants all the money. You know, he wants a win.
Oh, for sure.
That's why he's a kid. You know, and he is a kid, so we got to kind of give him a little bit of slack. I think all Jet fans blowing up today. I was blowing up last night. Listen, I can't blame them. I'm not going to cast shadows, okay? Like, I was like, season's done. We're over.
Yeah, I mean, that's the knee-jerk reaction. Like, if I had posted a video as I'm walking out of the game, I would have been, like, spitting nails. And I was like, I got to dial it back. I want to compose myself and really think about everything, digest it. And, I'm a little more calm, but I'm still scared. I think we can definitely go 0-3, and that could be the end of, statistically could be the end of our season as far as a playoff shot goes.
I'm not really sure that's going to happen. I think you're going to see a difference come Monday.
I think so, too.
I honestly, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm a typical Jet fan.
It's okay.
Okay. I think Monday we're going to see a different team. We're going to come out. And I think it's going to be Baker versus Darnold. And I think we're going to see why, the Browns made the wrong pick.
I hope so. I really do. Look, if we had game plan for Baker last year instead of Tyrod, I think we win. Like that, we had that game wrapped up. Now, the one thing I am concerned about is the amount of pressure we're going to be able to get. I'm hoping because they don't have that all-pro guard that they sent to the Giants, I'm hoping that the Jets can get pressure on Baker up the middle because Baker gets rid of the ball way faster than Josh Allen does. And that's the only reason we got some of the turnovers that we did. I mean, his accuracy being an issue. It seemed like he was almost throwing them at our at our defense. So it's...
Listen, Williams, the defensive coordinator, Williams.
Yep.
Okay, because we have so many Williams on the damn team.
You have to, yeah.
But Williams is going to dial something up because he knows Baker. He's been there. He's seen his show.
That's perfect because we have that inside knowledge.
We have the advantage.
Yep.
Buffalo had the advantage last week. They got our backup quarterback, but now this week we have the advantage. And I don't think the Baker and Odell show is going to be what you think it is. I really think they're going to be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of the time it takes them to gel, there's going to be some chemistry issues. And do you remember back when the Eagles got Nnamdi Asomugha and Vince Young, and I forget the other players that they got. It might have been Chris Jenkins at the time too, or maybe it was Cullen Jenkins. It might have been Cullen Jenkins, and they were the dream team. And they were anointed the dream team. They're like, oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
This is 2010-ish, somewhere in there.
And it was utter collapse.
No, they did terrible. I want to say they won 4 games or 5 games. It was bad. It was ugly. And that was like, I want to say it had to be 2011, I think, because I think it was after the year that like Vic went off, and then they, kind of had a dud of a season after that. I don't know. There's a lot of hype around the Browns. I'm buying into it because I do like Baker. As far as like I was a big Broadway Baker guy. Like I wanted us to get Baker. I didn't think we were gonna get Sam, but I believe in what Baker
I was a big Baker guy too. Listen, with the first pick in the draft, okay, when they took Baker, I was like, that's it. I was throwing pillows, get me a shot. I'm gone. Yeah. Okay, I wanted Baker too, but I think Baker in this media area
wouldn't have worked.
It would have been terrible, and we kind of got the right guy. I mean, I think the Giants really screwed up by not picking Darnold.
I'm shocked. That was because I thought once Baker went 1, and we heard Baker was going to go 1 probably around 3 or 4 o'clock the day of the draft, and I was like, God damn it! I was like, the Giants are getting Darnold now, and now we're gonna have to pick from one of the other guys, and we're getting at best the 3rd best quarterback, and I was just spitting nails. And then I was at the draft party, and the Giants take Barkley.
You were at the draft party, really?
I went to the draft party, and the Giants took Barkley, and I was like, oh my God, we just got Darnold. Like this happened.
I don't believe they whiffed on that pick. I'm going to tell you, I think it's going to be something that haunts them for the next 10 years.
I hope so. The only thing that's they love Barkley, and it's great. Barkley's great running back. I have nothing against Barkley.
Barkley's awesome.
I have
he's
nothing,
great, but he's
nothing
not
against
a
Barkley. Well, that's just it. Now you're paying this at the time the 2nd highest paid running back in the NFL by taking Barkley at 2, because that's how high the rookie contract is for a number 2 pick. And then, yeah, you're getting great production out of him, but is he going to stay on the team beyond 5 years? There's no guarantee that's going to happen. Like
But look what we did. We signed possibly the best running back in the NFL. Okay, and we didn't have to waste the draft pick.
Yeah, well, that's just it. We drafted so poorly, we had the money to burn on it. That's what kind of sucks. Like now they burnt the number 2 overall pick and are paying him a ton of money. Like it's a very weird dynamic, and it's a lot of people are seeing it as like, hey, we love Barkley. It's a great pick. He's a great player. Yes, and you do have to play a little bit of money ball, because is the value in taking a really good running back at number 2, or is the value taking a rookie quarterback that's going to be significantly cheaper than what the other quarterbacks are getting paid, and you're going to have him for 15 years. You could have him for 15 years. Like Barkley's more of a sure pick than any of the quarterbacks were. I'll give him that. But I really think, I said it at the time of the draft, this is going to haunt the Giants for 15 years.
They whiffed on that pick. Whiffed on that pick. That's the way it is. And we lucked out in the number 3 spot. And why they wouldn't trade with us makes no sense to me.
Yep.
Gentlemen, God bless you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, we're not trading within our stadium. It's like, well, we read you like a book. Like I do believe, and I'll give Maccagnan credit for this, I think they knew moving up to 3 that they were going to get the number 2 quarterback. I think there was knowledge that the Giants just laid out that they were all in on Eli. They didn't buy the whole, they're taking a quarterback. And
I think Barry Sanders, man. I think he's going to be like the best running back in the NFL that can't ever win a game.
Yeah, he's going to be stuck on a bad team for a long time, and he's going to be a very good running back. He'll be a top fantasy running back every single year that he's in the league for the next 6-7 years, whatever it is. And the Giants, may not even sniff the playoffs. When you look at the Eagles and you look at the Cowboys, that division is tough. Those 2 teams are really good.
Yes, they are.
All right, dude.
Yes,
I'm going to kick you off
and I think
for 30 minutes.
I really believe they whiffed on the Darnold pick. We should have ended up with Allen, and they should have had Darnold, and Barkley should have fell.
I'll tell
you.
Okay,
but we got a gift. We got a gift here.
If we had Allen, I think maybe we have a slightly better record last year, because I think he can run a little bit more than Darnold. Not that Darnold, can't be mobile, but I think maybe we take advantage of Robbie's speed a little bit more.
I hate the running quarterbacks. I hate them because they depend on their feet way too much.
Yeah, trust me, I would take Darnold all day.
I think we ended up with the right guy, even though I wanted Baker. I was sold on Baker, but I think in this market he would do terrible. But I just think that you got to give Douglas and you got to give Gase a little bit of time, and they're going to pull this thing together. I don't believe that this game with the Bills is the game that's going to define us.
I agree. I completely agree on that. There's not, I understand why some Jets fans are being doom and gloom right now, and because I can relate to it, and I understand based on where the bye week is and the schedule that we had. If you had rearranged our schedule a little bit and you gave us some more of our middle games that are a little bit easier and slid them towards the front, I think there'd be a lot more hope. I think it's really that 3-game stretch that has people concerned.
But what if you beat the Browns?
Then it's a totally different game.
Maybe you beat Philly. What if you beat Philly?
I think Philly's a very beatable team right now. When you look at how they played against Washington, I think Washington's going to get a top 5 pick. And there's no reason that Philly should have lost or at least come close to losing that game. I have a friend who's a Philly fan, and he was sweating bullets.
If you beat the Patriots, the Browns and Philly, right? Are we having a different discussion tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're talking, one game out of it. This is what we saw from the Bills. Realize that the Bills defense, we're not going to verse a better defense than that, probably. More than likely, that is the best defense that we're facing. And,
most likely, yeah.
Yeah, and now, that being said, I think Baker is a way better quarterback than Josh Allen. Josh Allen, has his own bag of, issues that we're going to deal with. We're going to have a, we had the threat of him running. Like, Baker's not going to run the way Allen would run, but he's also going to get rid of the ball faster. He's going to be more accurate than Allen. Like, there's issues that we're going to run into with
But he's
Baker.
also shorter, and he has a hard time seeing over the line.
Well, that's huge. So if we can get in his face early and often, and we get him off his comfort zone, I mean, that's what the name of the game is going to be, and we just have to protect Sam and our guys and be able to get the ball down the field. Like, I think there's going to be running opportunities for the Jets. Like, we saw Derrick Henry run wild yesterday.
Yes.
So we'll see.
But I think Bell is the equalizer.
That's what I'm hoping
Okay.
for.
I don't know, like Odell Beckham and all that stuff on the Browns.
Yeah.
But I think Bell is the equalizer. We have someone that is insanely talented on our team also.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, the fact that we have Bell as a weapon, Bell's going to wind up being, fantastic. And I hope he can stay on this trajectory for his entire contract because it's fun watching this guy play. That's what a real playmaker looks like.
This was a great deal. At the price they paid, it's incredible. But I just want to tell Jet fans, hang in there. Listen, it's not over. It was a bad outing. And listen, any improvement of our offense, we win that game. Any improvement.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. And, dude, I love that you called in. I hope you call in again. I just spent 35 minutes talking to your ass, and I love it. But I'm ejecting you from the cockpit.
Listen, you're out of here!
Keep the faith, Jet fans. Keep the faith. All right, we got like 20 minutes left in this. Let's see. This is going to work out like perfectly. The game's going to end right at 10 o'clock. Maybe. Probably not. Because the last like 2 minutes of a game take way longer. Oh, the 949 number. Ooh, who we got?
Call from
Matt.
accept.
What's up, Matt? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up?
What's on your mind? Tell me what you're feeling.
Does he need to sign Ross Martin?
Dude, we could sign anyone off anywhere. I would take, the girls' World Cup soccer players all day.
Honestly.
I'd take anyone. Anyone that can kick a ball. There's the fact that we can't find the fact that there's not 32 people in the U.S. that can kick the ball through the uprights consistently is beyond frustrating for me. Like, that should be. Big Green says Janikowski. If we can get Janikowski out of retirement, I want to see 65-yard field goals for days.
Like, it's even more known because, I go to the football field with my friend just to mess around, right? And if I can make a 35-yarder, how can a pro athlete not make a 32-yard PAT? I don't understand that.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I used to, when I played football, I was a kicker. I was a punter and a place kicker, and I wasn't great at place kicking. But there's definitely different, me kicking a field goal at like 45 yards, but like not having a defensive line in front of me and, not having to time a snap and like things like that. Like that's, like I could kick that in practice occasionally. 45 was the longest I ever kicked though. I could say but I'm also not a pro kicker. I'm just some dude that played occasionally. It was like not very good. There's got to be soccer players out there that are, can boot the ball a mile, and they got to be relatively accurate at it. I mean, if you can watch, now maybe they're playing soccer because maybe there's more money in the soccer player than there is in the, in kicking in the NFL, which I think there's probably some type of argument to be had. But could you imagine if the Jets called up I don't know, friggin' Beckham, and they're like, yo, Beckham, you're kicking field goals. Like, come on. And they'd be like, oh, hell yeah. I don't care how old this guy is. He's accurate. He's got to be able to kick a field goal, I would think.
Yeah. Also, one of the things, as soon as I walked into school today, I saw one of my friends that's a Ravens fan. I blessed him for C.J. Mosley.
Dude, C.J. is a beast. I love everything about C.J. Mosley. When we got him, my buddy Rob, who was in the chat earlier, came out and was just like, dude, I'm so jealous. He's my favorite player. I don't know if I should burn my jersey because I absolutely love CJ. And the guy is as advertised. He is so good. And I'm really glad we got him. I think $17 million is a lot to pay that kind of linebacker, but he is... I shouldn't say that kind of linebacker. I should say a linebacker. But he is so good. That defense was totally different without him.
He's worth every single penny that we paid him. On what was like $85 million or whatever. He's worth every single penny.
I think I don't remember the exact overall, but I want to say it was the second, or it was the highest paid linebacker, and I want to say it was like $17 million a year.
Whatever it was, he's worth every single penny.
Dude, what do you think happens for the Browns game? What are you predicting?
I think that we actually get a lot of pass rush because like their offensive line looks uncoordinated. I mean, so did ours yesterday, but they did not look good. Like without Dietler, like they look so different because I was like the man of their team. I was like the captain of their offensive line.
Oh, for sure. And it probably plays better into our hand because I think us rushing up the middle is more likely based on our strengths on defense than getting an outside pass rush. Now, they have an outside pass rush with Myles Garrett, and I think our tackles of our, of our offensive line are the best of the line because, maybe Khalil gets better as he shakes some of the rust off. He didn't play in preseason. Maybe, he gets the calls down a little bit better. I think we're going to see the line get better as we kind of go on. And it makes me sad because the offensive line looked like it was going to be one of our surprise, not weaknesses. And it wound up hurting us pretty bad yesterday.
Yeah, I'm scared of their defense. Like Myles Garrett and Sheldon Richardson and Olivier Vernon, that scares me.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like they have the pass rush. Like I like Sheldon a lot. I was a big Sheldon fan, and he hasn't really performed the way I expected him to. Like I thought he would be a bigger noisemaker on the Vikings last year, and with Seattle, and to see that not really transpire was a little surprising. But playing next to Myles Garrett and playing next to Olivier Vernon is definitely... That team is built to play with the lead. And I think if we can get out in front of them where it kind of narrows down what they're able to do, I think that's a better look for the Jets. Like if we could run the no huddle and really pressure this defense into not knowing what's coming, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I think one thing that also was going to help that I think they said Greedy Williams is starting. Hit Quincy and Crowder on little routes because Greedy cannot tackle. Open field tackling is not his thing. If you run little screens or something right to him, it just keeps going.
Dude, I could definitely be about these little screens. I don't mind the screens just because I don't think we have the offensive line to be able to develop good routes downfield. If we just had a strong center, the center is the biggest key to this whole puzzle. You can have slightly worse guards because you can kind of make up with it with your tackles and your center, and you can slide protections. But when you are weak across all three of those positions, the quarterback can't step up. He's trying to throw off different platforms, and it is not easy to do what Sam was doing. And you look at his foot placement on a lot of his throws it was really weird, and he's good from throwing from weird platforms too.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Dude, I love that you called in. I look forward to talking to you again. Boom! That's it! You're out of here! Ejected from the cockpit. I love that ejector emoji. It's so good. It's so good. I haven't been using my 5-minute timer. I should probably use the 5-minute timer a little bit more. That's okay. I forgive myself. You guys won't yell at me. I don't think. We got a game in Monday Night Football. 24-21. Saints with the ball. Oh, God. Kamara's so good. I can't believe he didn't hold on to that. Which is weird because I'm probably 2 plays behind at this point. That's what sucks about doing this kind of stream. It's all right. It's all right. Guys, if you didn't hit the like button down below, we got 40 people in here. Come on. Drop me a like down below. Helps the channel grow. Helps it look good. Although I think what I'm going to start doing, and I recently started this, T-Jazz Jr. run stream till the end of the game. We'll see. We'll see where we're sitting. I'm not sure. But what I've decided to do with these live streams is after the stream is over, You're not going to be able to see the stream anymore. So if you guys want to see the cockpit live stream, you're going to have to tune in during the day. And I don't know how many people actually watch afterwards. Like, maybe it's not very many. The hope was to turn this show into a podcast at the same time. And it didn't really turn out to be that. It kind of, I don't know how much value it holds the next day after. And if you guys do actually like, do any of you guys watch this after it? Everybody like the video now. Thank you, Steven. I do, because I'm freaking awesome. What are you talking about? Big Green, you are awesome. But I have no idea what you're talking about. I watch it after sometimes because I forgot. Oh, okay, so we do get people watching on their way to work. All right, so maybe I'll try to make this a little more structured. Because what I was doing was I was making them... I can't figure out if we'll get more viewers if I take it off. T-Jazz. I don't, but The Cockpit is my favorite YouTube show. Or favorite show on YouTube. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I have a lot of fun with this, and I think this could be a lot of fun. I'm still striving to get towards the live capacity that we had for the Bell stream. The Bell stream, it was like 200 people in here, and that was fun. We had people going crazy left and right, and that was like, it was also the first stream, and when I do the first stream, it's kind of a, maybe it's a little more special knowing that it's going to be on Mondays. I'm sure I get people, now I get the consistent guys. I get, Big Green's in here, Steven's here all the time. I got Joseph Purdy, Joe, all these guys, Blunted Vegas, like a lot of you guys are here all the time, and I see your names pop up a lot. And T-Jazz, I forget what your name was. T-Rich, I think, is what it was. But I like hearing it. Cockpit is great. You'll get more views if you have different fans on. So that's what I'd like to do. I want to have more fans on. Maybe I'll try some type of roundtable type discussion. I got to see if I can do like a 3-panel, 2-panel, 1-panel, and have Blunted Vegas. Great show, by the way. Whatever you do, good luck, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun to talk Jets. It's fun to talk with Jets fans and see different opinions on what better channel. I don't know if that made sense. For sure. I wish Ryan did more live streams. Best on YouTube. TJ Decker. I like it. I'm probably going to do more live streams when we get to when I get a little more into my slower season. Like it's a little tough for me right now because I'm working like 50 to 60 hours a week and I'm exhausted by the time I get home. The fiance likes to hang out with Ryan, and I love hanging out with you guys. But you guys don't cook me dinner and treat me awesome. And I'm not saying you guys aren't beautiful, but she's gorgeous. So there's that too. She's too good for me. All fans on a round table, mafia style. See, I think I could do something like that. If they're okay with coming on the Cockpit and doing a live stream, like I don't mind I guess realistically we should probably do it on like Jet Central's because he's got the most subscriber base. And I think when he goes live, he'd probably get like 200 people because he pumps out videos all the time. And he's a knowledgeable dude. Ian's a good guy. But I'd like to think they may want to come on here and do a roundtable type discussion. I'll extend that invite to more people beyond just the YouTube nation that is, Gangrene David, Howie HQ, Ian from Jet Central. Now, obviously, I would love to have those 4 because they have the video. They talk on camera. We have a cross-pollination that could kind of go in there, which, let's see, Jet Central and Jets Talk Live would be a gift from God. If we could do that, I would do it in a heartbeat because I like Ian a lot. Ian and I have a lot of fun with this sort of stuff. Gangrene David is a good moderator. I don't necessarily buy into all his ideas, which is fine. That's why you're fans. You got different opinions. Like I don't agree with all of Ian's ideas either, but they're both smart in their own respect. And Howie seems like a pretty intelligent guy, and I think there's a lot of value to be had in a 4-person panel. And I have to see how to do that, because I'd like to do something in that respect and have, maybe if I could get 4 guys together, maybe it's not a 4-person stream every night. Like maybe it's, hey, this week we only got me, and this is what it is, because that's all. I'm the only person that could commit, but at least you're getting one guy. Then maybe we get Gangrene David, and then maybe it's just the 2 of us bouncing back and forth, and we're having this conversation and we're taking phone calls, and that's what it's going. And then maybe Howie can commit, and then we got 3. So I'd like to do this kind of thing. Howie went to the same high school as me, Hackensack High. Oh, that's very cool. I have not talked to Howie yet, and I feel like I've talked about him on the stream, and I've watched some of his videos. I don't watch all of them. I'm the type of YouTuber that I am is the type of YouTuber that I have designed this channel to be. So like my videos are pretty short. I try not to have videos that are over 10 minutes long. I'm a very short, concise, hey, give me the information, let's get out of here. And it doesn't really pay to do that, because if you have videos that are 10 minutes long, you can have 2 ads, you make twice the ad revenue. So I'm sacrificing the ad revenue for the sake of having concise, clear videos that are easy to consume and have the ability to, digest real quick. Like Ian does a really good job of talking out his situations and having a, deeper knowledge than I don't want to say than I do, but I think we have a different kind of knowledge. Like, I feel like I'm more based in the salary cap realm, maybe some of the different nuances of the game. He's really good at digesting what he's seeing on the tape and really kind of breaking that down. And he knows the backstory of a lot of these players real well. I don't know how much research he does beforehand or if he just retains it all. I need to do research before I make a video. So when I make a video, I try to figure out, I watch interviews, I watch, game tape, and then we'll cut some highlights in there. I'll do some funny stuff, and I have fun with that. But it's different types of mentalities. And that's why I tried to do a different type of channel, kind of, than Jet Central, because I saw what he did, and I was like, all right, well, I don't need to do what he does. There's enough wasted time throughout someone's day that you can definitely put together 2 different channels, and people will watch multiple things. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Howie, and watch Jet Central, and watch me, and watch Gangrene David. So that just proves my point right off the bat. He responded well. Christopher Levinshin, he was blunt and made his points clear. He showed frustration, but you expect that. Hope that he knows what he did wrong and everybody else, and will adjust to fix it. What did I miss? Gase didn't call specific players out, but he called out position groups, which is good to hear. Yeah, no, I like that he called out and there was some accountability. Like, hey, look, you guys played like poop, and that's the way it is. You got to get your playing time, and that's about it. You gotta play well when you're on the field. If you're not gonna play well, hey, you're under the gun. Everyone's gonna be watching it. So I guarantee next week, when we're talking about, the game, we're gonna be, oh man, is this Duke Johnson? I got Duke Johnson on my fantasy team. I don't want to see him get hurt, but I want to see him keep running around. That's great. Is that Duke? Turn around. I don't know. Facts. We never gave Bowles a real team. He became stagnant. Great guy, but we need to change. But Gase, I'm still skeptical on the hire. I would take Gase over Bowles all day. And that's just because Bowles was so lackluster. I mean, it was I don't need flashy. I just need competence, and I don't think there was any accountability on the Bowles teams. There wasn't, I felt guys were able to do whatever they kind of wanted, and if they played poorly, it is what it is. We got 6 minutes left in the Texans-Saints game, according to my Reddit stream. So I'll keep this going. We'll since it's that close, we'll keep the stream going. We won't end it at 10 tonight. We'll see what we can get. Got 3 minutes to go, or 3 points with under 6 minutes, with the Texans driving inside the 50. So because we talked about this cockpit stream, I could use some co-pilots, and I'm gonna reach out to those guys. I'm sure David will do it. He's pretty easy to to get in touch with on things like this. I'll reach out to Ian. I'd like to do that and kind of see where this goes. I think if we could have one Jets panel, even if it wasn't, if anyone wants to do their own video on their own day, no time commitment, hey, let's just get it together. Let's have one Jet Nation under my ceiling. Or whatever. You know what? I think it would be fun to do that. Oh, God. Why did Belichick quit as our head coach? I hate Bill Belichick so much. I agree, but from Rex to Bowles, what a drastic personality change. After Rex, I will say this. Losing Rex, I loved Rex. Bowles was the personality we needed to reset this franchise. And I think we kind of needed it. There's kind of a when you're in a business and you need to do a kind of a reset or a purge. There's guys that are brought in to be the bad guy and to be the guy that can be the fall man. I have dealt with a situation like that where this guy was brought in, did what he had to do. People didn't like it, and then he was out. And you know what? The organization's like, yeah, we got rid of that guy. Now here's the new thing, and we got, we got Gase, or we got, whatever. You have the fall guy. And not saying that Maccagnan or Bowles is that fall guy, but there's mentalities that you need to reset a franchise. And going from a really loud personality, like a Herm Edwards, then you go to a Mangini, who's a little more stoic. Then you go to Rex, because that energy level is just totally different, and that's why it took off the way it did. Then you go from Rex to Bowles, kind of reset it, figure it out, and then you have... Hashtag. We got him in the chat. The Jets have had such piss poor decision makers. Throwing money at problems doesn't always work. No, I agree. I think the Tremaine Johnson signing hurt. That's not something that we probably should have done in hindsight. The Bell and Mosley signings, though, really good. Both those guys are as advertised, and now it's still one game. But if they perform how they did yesterday, we are going to be in for a very good return on the investment that we had, especially for a team that has not drafted well. Ezra Golan, do I think the Jets will make the playoffs? I don't. I didn't think the Jets were going to make the playoffs when I was overly optimistic on our schedule, and that's mainly because I think the Steelers, the Browns, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. Of those 5 teams, 2 of them are going to be... even Crowder. I should be saying Crowder. Crowder was a great signing, too. Our free agent signings this year have been on point. That's not where we've... Oh, God, hashtag shut up. Oh, Ryan. Yeah, I know. I got to do something. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a Bills jersey. I'll figure something out. The way it happened to me. Hashtag. I was yelling at the top of my lungs while I was at that game. My voice was shot. It's still a little raspy right now, but whatever. You know what? I'm wrong. I said in my video I thought it would come down to who had the ball last, or how I said the Jets, or the spread was 3 points. Of course it's 3 points because that's where we hurt. That's our kicking situation, and we left points on the field. You can't do that. If the Jets have a kicker, we win that game. No questions asked. You cannot get 4 turnovers and only score. Oh, here it is. Damn it. I almost got through the whole stream.
Call from
Mario #sports.
To accept, press...
Mario, what is up, brother?
Abysmal.
Oh, God, it kills me. Son of a...
I'm not even talking about the Jets either. That was abysmal.
Dude, there's things that both teams could have done better. Like Allen needs to not turn the ball over the way he did, but the kicking for the Jets specifically is just brutal.
Dude, with the slot talent you have with Jameson Crowder and all the Le'Veon Bell and all the guys that you have, I wouldn't even have a kicker. I'd put a 53rd player on your team.
Dude,
I wouldn't even hold a kicker.
That's just it. I've said this. I would go for 2 and like go on 4th down before I trust a kicker to kick any kind of long field goal with us.
Oh my God! You know what? Believe me, there's no. I know I said Ryan in the chat, and I came in, and you think there's going to be some floating. There's nothing. I saw so many holes. There's more holes in the Bills' offense than Swiss cheese, man. I mean, you want to talk about the 4 turnovers that the Bills actually did have. How about a pick that was called back and another one on the goal line before the Bills kicked their field goal? That's 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Take care of the damn ball.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge thing for you guys moving forward. For us, as far as quarterbacks go, we verse Baker next week, and it's totally a different kind of quarterback. Baker's super accurate and has the decision-making, snap real quick, like the ball's out. And with Josh Allen, I feel like he wants to use that arm he wants to use the howitzer. That's what it was. I mean, it was cool to see Beasley running around, and, you got to see his percentage go up in terms of completion percentage. I think. I didn't look at his overall stats, but it looked like he was more comfortable throwing those intermediate routes that we didn't get to see much of last year. Is that kind of what you got to see?
Absolutely. I think no question. I think he was trying to get his confidence up a little bit with some of them short intermediate routes. But, I mean, you talk about Allen going 8 for 10 in the fourth quarter with a touchdown, and, I mean, that touchdown pass was even questionable. It wasn't even a back shoulder throw. If the corner turned around, that might have been another pick. And then
we got Paul in the chat too. I didn't realize Paul was on the chat. I like this. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he got he was 2 for 11 with a rushing touchdown as well, just in the fourth quarter. And it's and one thing that we didn't touch on, we were just talking about the differences, the similarities between the Jets and the Bills. And you talk about Greg Williams.
Yeah.
The Bills defense is set up so you got a guy that can plug and play. Mm-hmm. You can put him in there and he can do what he needs to do. If you lose a key star on a Greg Williams defense, a la Mosley, you see things start to fall. I mean, the guy left the game with a 16-3 lead. Yeah. He should have been. The Jets should have been fine. I was sitting there trying to prepare things for our post game and say, listen, what are we going to say? Well, I wanted to just tear Dable apart.
Yep.
And I just kept saying all this stuff that's going on. These two teams are so evenly matched. I would not be surprised if this is a 1-point game.
Yep.
You guys missed an extra point. You end up getting a save. The Bills only surrendered 8 points.
Dude, that's what's crazy.
On the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the Jets' offense couldn't get anything moving. That's what gives me a little bit of hope. Your defense was number 2 in the league last year, and having everyone return and then swapping out an older player for a hungry Ed Oliver is at worst, I think, a net 0. So that defense is still legit.
Well, the thing that you have for the Jets that's working in your favor that's not working in the Bills' favor, you have Greg Williams there. You have a lot of new moving parts. Once they start to gel, no one really knows what to expect from the Jets' defense right now. Now, if you look at the Bills on the flip side of that, like you just said, 1 player replaced. Mm-hmm. So there's technically, minus that 1 player, 17 games that these teams can go back and look at about where to find the weaknesses in this Bills' defense. And some of them were exploited by the Jets. If you have the Bills got to play Barkley. They got to play Elliott. They got to play a lot of these teams that have stud backs, and it's not going to be easy going for the Buffalo Bills this year. But as far as the Jets go, like you were saying just before, I just caught it. You guys have a bright upside. You guys really do. You can't play any worse than you did against a defense. Coming out of the gate against a Bills defense is tough. Oh, yeah. That was really tough.
Yeah, no, I think, and it's tough for me so what we saw with the Jets and the Bills defense, I know the Bills defense is filthy. I would have loved, and Paul just touched on in the chat, was the downfield passes, to Anderson and that sort of thing. The Jets offense was just so abysmal, the offensive line. Our front three, and I read the stat off earlier, I'll read it to you now. I don't know how much you care about Pro Football Focus, but the way they graded our line, Winters was the worst guard. Khalil was the 6th worst center. Osemele graded out as a 55, so that was terrible. And then Beachum and Shell were both in the 60s, and that's not very good either. So the Bills being able to come up the middle, not allowing Darnold to step into any of his throws, and just not even allowing the deep routes to develop is really why I think the Jets did so many screens and quick slants, and that's why Crowder had 14 catches for 99 yards and couldn't break 100 yards with 14 catches. That's insane.
Well, yeah, according to Pro Football Focus as well, another statistic to throw in there is that the Bills blitzed Darnold 38% of the time. They never do that.
That's ton
They're
of
usually
blitzes.
blitzing like 25%.
That's huge. I didn't realize it was that much. I mean, it felt like he got a ton of pressure on him, but I thought it was just because our line was. I mean, it's bad. It's because we're bad, but I mean, it's definitely when you're throwing extra bodies at it, it doesn't help our cause.
Yeah, now blitzing out, you got to think about it this way: the lack of a tight end presence definitely hurt you guys because you don't even have an H back or anybody in there. I mean, at least it didn't seem like that way. And Pro Football Focus grades anything as a blitz if you bring more than 4. So even if a linebacker was coming off the edge, if you had a corner blitz, if you have a nickel guy coming in, anything like that, that's why the number is so high. But
for sure.
I got to tell you right now, as the season progresses, if the Bills continue to do what they do and continue to do what they did from last year, you're going to see how this game is not much for worry for the Jets as much as it is because the defense for the Bills is going to probably do this to a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, I think so.
And I wouldn't worry about it. Jets fans, passengers in the cockpit, I really wouldn't worry about it because this defense is going to do that to a lot of teams this year, or projected to do that to a lot of teams this year.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a huge thing. Now, I want your opinion right now. What do you think about this whole bullshit about Antonio Brown?
Oh God, I think the natural instinct for everyone, especially fans in the AFC East, is to be like, here's the Patriots again, collusion, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
The Patriots wanted to trade for Brown back in March, but they didn't want to have to give up any compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Very adamant about saying they're not going to trade him to a division rival or the Patriots.
Yep.
Now, this could have been something that was orchestrated. I don't know. It could have been something. It seems like along the lines of what the Patriots do. I don't want to put on my tin hat just yet, but I think this kid, initially when I started to think about everything, he froze his damn feet. He didn't want to wear a helmet. He didn't go to practice. He called the coach this and that. I don't think he wanted to play anymore. It seemed like he didn't want to play. Like, from my point of view, I know I'm probably alone in this, but it just seemed like he didn't want to play. Or he just didn't want to play in Oakland. He saw the way that the structure was there in Oakland. He's like, I got to get out of here, and I don't care if it costs me $30 million. I don't care. But you got to think about it this way. This guy couldn't get along with his teammates in Pittsburgh. He couldn't get along with the manager in Oakland. Mm-hmm. If you're not an Antonio Brown fan, if he can't work with Belichick, he's done. Yeah. He's absolutely done in the league.
Who's going to pick him up after that? Like, that's the thing. Like, and the beautiful thing about it is, and I don't like Antonio Brown like that. I've said this multiple times. But it's very evident that they do not need him. He is overkill for that team.
No.
And
no.
I don't see how. I don't know. I saw something today that said that Brown did whatever he could after he got in the fight with Mayock to figure out a way out of his contract. And he went to social media people and were like, hey, what can I do to get out of it? That's why he recorded Gruden on that phone call and put it out for everyone to hear. And, like, you know, technically, California is a two-party consent for recording. So if Gruden wanted to and really be a dick, he could take him to court for it because he didn't know he was being recorded.
Well, that didn't work with Don Sterling.
Yeah, no, it's not. And Paul literally just said exactly what I said. It's illegal.
That's pretty funny.
It was like
but
verbatim.
Here's the thing. Yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. You can't have Brown doing what he did. The fact that he was able to threaten a team official, the NFL has to suspend him. I don't care if the Raiders didn't do it. You have to. I mean, and maybe it's the Raiders saying, "Oh no, he didn't actually do it, so we're not going to suspend him. We're just going to fine him." And then now maybe there's like the whole, "Oh well, if the Raiders didn't suspend him, now maybe we don't have to." But you can't have this happening. Like, players are going to be able to try and sneak out of contracts like this then.
Well, you know Goodell is going to tread lightly on that. Anything involving the Patriots, that's number one. Number two, you have to think of it in terms of this. Guys like that, that seem to, buck the system and do what they want to do, they're going to only go to a team that has a well-established coach and a system in place. So guys, even players, the coaches don't even have to do anything. The players will keep the guys in line and do that. Now, if you look at it, over the past 3 years in the NFL, at least 7 coaches have been replaced by new coaches. So that's 21 out of the 32 teams. So now you're looking at another 11 teams. I mean, is Mike Tom? Well, he's out in Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean? He was an established coach. You got Belichick. You got Reed. You got a couple of these other guys who are just like, we got Ron Rivera. You got guys that only have a tenure of over 5 years, only a few guys, but some of them have shaky situations involving them. You know, guys have been in the league 7, 8 years, these coaches, they might be on the hot seat. You never know what's going to happen. So only guys, I mean, it's open up a whole nother can of worms with the whole Colin Kaepernick situation. He's only going to go to a team that has a very solidified coach and system and infrastructure, and there's not many teams in the NFL that have that.
Yeah, there's too much turnover in the NFL, but you know, both from like a coaching perspective. I mean, how many times do you see? I mean, how many coaches have the Bills had in the last 20 years? Ballpark. Like the Jets have had Herm Edwards, we had Mangini, we had Rex, we had Bowles, now we have Gase. So we've had at least 5, and I want to say we had was it Groh? I think. Just after the Belichick fiasco. I guess if you really wanted to add it 20 years, you'd have Belichick too in there. We had him for a day. But, like, that's the thing. Like, coaches don't last more than 5 years, usually because the message gets stale. So unless you're really having sustained success, it's tough to really keep that, I don't know, foundation in place.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tomlin, the only reason Tomlin's stayed as bro, watch the game. I'm watching the game right now. I think. I'm like delayed though, so I don't know where you're looking and what I'm looking. I got 50 seconds left on my clock right here. But the
Oh yeah, no. Let's just put it this way. I was playing a guy. I have Will Lutz. He has Hopkins, and I just went up 1 point when Lutz kicked that field goal, and it counted for 4 points, and it's done now because Hopkins just caught a 40-yarder. So I'm done. I just lost.
No fucking shit, really? Okay, well now I got. Hold on, I'm 2 plays behind. I haven't gotten to see it yet. I'm watching everything on a Reddit stream, so it's like. Oh, and now everyone's saying touchdown. Motherfucker! That's how this happens. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Well, hopefully Lutz can kick another field goal before the time ends. But
dude, that's insane. Hopkins
is
a
man,
beast.
Nobody, just as far as the Bills and Jets go, just really quick, I mean, there's no one won this bet. We both lost. So I'm not even going to sweat it.
See, now I'm hoping that Week 17 the Jets can somehow sneak one out, and maybe that's what gets us into the playoffs, baby, or at least knocks you guys out of the playoffs. I'm cool with some redemption if we don't get into the playoffs and we get to knock you guys out.
Hey, I'm fine with if Antonio Brown becomes the catalyst for the demise of the Patriots, and the Jets are playing the Bills, both at 10-5 for the division title, and the other one's going to get a wild card out of it.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah, dude, I want to see not the Patriots. That's kind of my biggest thing.
Oh, and he missed it. The guy missed the extra point.
He missed the extra point. I just saw it pop up in the chat. Oh, I love it. Okay, I guess we're going to OT now. This chat was supposed to not like. I was like, oh, I'll be done at 10. Then we're like, okay, no, we're waiting. And we got some time. We got some more time. I like this. This is fun. I started talking. Now, Mario, you could absolutely be one of the guys that I do with this whole roundtable type discussion thing. We've had a few discussions tonight about me trying to talk to Jet Central, Gangrene David, and Jets HQ, and try to get like a Jet panel of, whatever, like guys talking sports.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty good. We could throw in. I like the hashtag guys. And I don't think I have any kind of relationship with any other franchise like I do with you guys.
Well, I just got to tell you this, Ryan. From the base of everything, I enjoy watching the Bills. I'm a fan of the Bills, but I understand I'm not an owner of the team. I'm not an owner of this, that, and the other thing. What, they just re-kicked it and they got the extra point in?
They got the roughing the kicker. Yeah.
I'm a fan of football. I enjoy any type of football talk. So if you have the Jets coming on, you got a bunch of panelists with the Jets, and you want to invite hashtag on, we could talk football for days. Like, it's not a big deal for us. I'm not one of these super fans that just loses their mind if the team loses. Like, I'll watch the Bills game, and if they lose, okay, well, I got grass to cut. I got stuff I got to do. I'm not going to just sit there and slam, like, stuff around my house.
Dude, I could do
if the team loses.
like an around the horn where people get points. Like, say, oh, who won this?
Oh yeah, I would definitely do that.
Like that could be fun. I don't know how
I'd
to
definitely.
necessarily do it, but like, I'm sure there's probably ways.
You could take your Tony Reale. I could see you as Tony Reale doing that.
See, I love would I be the guy doing it? I could be doing it. Like have 3 panels on the side and just be like, oh, what do you think? And then I'm like controlling points and stuff. But then that's totally arbitrary. I feel like maybe I need you as the moderator.
Oh yeah, Paul would probably be better for that. I get a little too triggered easily. So. But that being said, once again, always a good time when you have me on in the cockpit. It's a good time. Yeah, but this game, if I was a Jets fan and if I could send a message to the passengers coming from a Bills fan, I wouldn't even worry. We have a lot more things to fix on our end than the Jets do. I thought the Bills were going to actually try to exploit the secondary because I know that was a concern with you and a lot of the passengers in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. This is because they weren't able to do it. That front seven of the Jets is a very formidable group. They're going to be very good. I wouldn't worry about it. I think you guys are still trending upward. I think this may be just a blip on the screen. It's the first game, the first 6 games of the season. Usually the defense does pretty well unless you're the Miami Dolphins and you're going to be in the XFL next year.
They couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was so bad.
Oh my god.
Dude, that was
atrocious.
that was a thumping. Like I believe in Lamar Jackson as far as a fantasy quarterback goes. I don't project that to be a consistent trend for him. I think Miami is just that bad that's kind of what wound up happening.
Oh my god, Miami wouldn't make the BCS playoff at this point.
Dude,
They're so horrible.
Tank. That's like when you have multiple players asking to be traded off the team because they know you're tanking. As soon as you got rid of Tunsil and Stills, it was like, well, what are we doing here? Like you're not helping out your rookie quarterback. You got young players, so you're hoping that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me what they're doing. Well, it makes sense to me. I know they're tanking. You don't sign Fitzpatrick and not. Big Green says
usually
Alabama
teams
beats
aren't
Miami.
that obvious about it, though.
Yeah, well, it's usually not too bad. This is like 76ers level tanking. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Trust the process. It was, I don't know.
They're going to put a lottery in soon to the NFL, but
dude,
all right, I'm out. Once again, Ryan, awesome. I will talk to you very, very soon, my friend. All right, let me know about that panel.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it as always. Boom, Mario from #Sports. You guys need to hit him up. He is. Boom, you're out of here. Lamar Jackson on pace for 5,100 yards and 80 touchdown passes. I love that stat. I don't know what to think about Lamar Jackson. Now, I obviously want to see him do well because he is a fun quarterback to watch. Oh, call timeout. What are you doing? You're letting clock run. It's not good. Not good. 6 seconds. I'm not watching. I'm not looking at the chat because if I look at the chat, I'm going to find out what happened in the game, and I want to catch the last 6 seconds without having to look at the game. Oh, come on. They should have called timeout, and then you run an out route. That's what should have happened. Oh, let's see. If I look at the chat, I'm going to see what happened on the play already. It's not as exciting like that. That's why I don't want to call a game on here, because it takes a little more time to stream from the service I'm using to the video that's actually getting put out. Now that's what's nice about sportscasters. There's zero latency, or at least like less than a second latency. That's huge. The whole lag on YouTube is a little frustrating. Wow. I'm not looking. I want to be excited. Or not excited. I don't know. I love Drew Brees. The Saints are my NFC team. If I had to pick one NFC team, I have a Reggie Bush jersey, Saints jersey. I think I wore it during one of my streams. I think it was a Jet bye week. I did a video in it maybe. Oh, God. Long kick. No timeouts to ice him, so that's kind of nice. Career long is 57. What are they going for? What's this distance we got? Whew, 58-yarder. Let's go. Come on. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Whew. Whew. I'm glad. I see for the win over there. I am really glad this worked out the way it did. Whew. That was cool. That was really neat. That makes me feel good. Oh, screw the Texans. Oh, man. See, Saints fans need that kind of stuff. The fact that they got knocked out the way they got knocked out the last 2 playoff runs, that was awesome. I'm glad I stayed on to watch that. 58-yard kick. That is a boot. He looked like he had good yardage on it, too. What has he got left? Oh, he hit the wall with that. Dude, he could have made that from another, like, probably 3 yards back. Dude, the IQ on these guys. Drew Brees, incredible. Dude, I can't take anything away from the Texans. After watching this game and seeing the way they just drove down the field, you gave 43 seconds to arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And he made it happen. Luckily, why can't the Jets get a kicker like that? If the Jets have a kicker like Lutz, we don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Tons of weapons. Yeah, I mean, you got Hopkins, you got Kamara. Kamara's a friggin' beast. You got Fuller, you got Duke Johnson. I mean, that guy Hill for the friggin' Saints is pretty good. That quarterback receiver dude. Michael Thomas is a man. Just crazy. Big Green, Texans playing prevent defense. Yeah, that's friggin' huge. When they play prevent defense it prevents you from winning. That's what it is. You got to dial it up. Man, look at that kick. Oh, he had plenty. He could have made that from 60. Easily from 60. Do you think Sam will throw more downfield next week? Zach, I hope so. I honestly think it's because our offensive line is so bad. Now, Gase did take advantage of, I think he had Woodhead down in Miami. They had a lot of short passes when he was down there. And I don't know if that's a consistent thing we're going to have to see, or if it's a, if our offensive line plays better, Sam will be able to step into the throw. Because I think last year we didn't see those deep balls to Robbie quite as much because we didn't have the protection. Now, I don't know why McCown was able to get it done, but we haven't been able to get it done with Darnold. We'll see. I want Robbie. At this point, if we're not going to address the offensive line, there's no point in signing Robbie next year, which is kind of frustrating. I would like to keep Robbie as long as he can kind of I don't want to say keep his nose clean, but just kind of not be dumb. I don't know. Guys, I appreciate you tuning into the cockpit. And if you'd like to see, geez, I didn't even realize the other Monday night games. I'm going to bed. I'm not watching this. Although Raiders touchdown, I guess I got to watch it now. Who scores? Not Antonio Brown. Oh, they just turned off the thing on they cut it off. My stream, I got to cut to another stream. Whatever. Guys, it was fun tonight. And I would love to do this more often. Hopefully we will do some kind of round table panel. See if the other Jet guys, maybe it's not a Monday, maybe it's some other day of the week. Or maybe it is Monday. It could just be Monday. We'll see. Guys, that's it for me. I love your faces. I hope you tune in next week. If you can, tell a friend about the channel. Tell your friend that we could be friends. Because if you get one more person to subscribe, maybe that person gets one more person to subscribe, and we grow this channel even more. Makes me feel good. Guys. Sorry, my hair's all crunchy. I think I look good. Maybe Thursday night. Thursday night games could be alright. Have a good night, guys. This is your pilot signing off.